Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. We are joined in studio today by some of our good friends. We have my brother is here.
Hi.
Hi, Clay.
Hi.
He specifically had the assignment to watch, and then we're going to discuss the 1998 classic Wild Things, starring Denise Richards and Matt Dillon, and that other broad. Bill Murray has a minor supporting role.
Nev Campbell.
Nevy Cammy, baby. And our dear friend Caroline Steinkamp is here. Caroline
Hi.
Steinkamp, St. Louis's own singer, songwriter, songbird extraordinaire, and she's going to be hanging out with us today. Joe, say hi to everybody.
Hey guys.
Hey, Joe.
Ooh, Caroline, we're going to talk
Happy to
about
be
you in a minute, but I thought we'd all get a little warmed up here with just some of the some headlines and some stuff I was reading this morning, just so we can really shake the dust off, the gumph.
I was just going to ask, how are we going to address the gumph? So,
Exactly this way.
Up top.
So we are recording this 12/21/2020, and I read this morning, new study finds that more than 80% of COVID patients observed are vitamin D deficient. Somebody knock on some fucking wood. I take, personally, 1,500 IUs every single day, and I started with a double dose of 3,000 because I read that if you're really depleted, like I probably was or could still be, that, your body needs to be told to start receiving the D.
Yeah, but
So,
you
have
also
you
need sunlight.
felt or seen
Well,
a
exactly.
difference?
Exactly the point. See, I work at a school, and we've been back in the building since October, and I've yet to get COVID, right? And I wear my mask, and I keep, a little hand sanitizer in my pocket, and I refill it every day when I get home, and maybe it could be all that, but I can also feel my experiences of, for example, negative symptoms from the SSRIs that I take to keep from crying in bed all the time. I feel like those are getting better. Right. I feel I don't feel this great fatigue that not that I maybe used to feel, but just I don't feel fatigued particularly. I like to go to sleep, but I'm not like falling asleep at the red light and whatnot.
Love to hear that.
Are you on a supplement?
I take a women's daily. It's a little gummy.
Once a day women's gummy?
Something like that. Yeah. And then I take a little bit of iron. And
do you have a prescription for the iron, or you just get that over the counter?
I just get it over the counter.
Iron's
And then I also am periodically just taking like an emergency just to like,
I like the flavor.
get that,
And you get that little sizzle.
boost. You know what I like to do is mix it with one of these like sparkling waters, and then it's like an orange soda.
Does it get foamy at the
Kind
top
of.
though?
Little bit, but
it's worth it.
I need the bubbles.
Was there vitamin D added to Sunny D?
I could see
Maybe a
that,
little.
like vitamin D fortified type of thing.
That'd be nice because it's not all juice. So, but if it's water and some juice and some Tang powder, and then you pump it up with a little vitamin D, that helps the nutrition facts. People used to read those.
I heard that
Yes, we
everyone
wanna
has a good amount of
Pump the
vitamin
children
D.
full of D.
I think the cannabinoids also help. I don't know what your regimen is. I know my wife is doing a nightly CBD gummy.
Can't hurt.
You know what I mean? And
But I also understand that you haven't been drinking lately, so
yeah, I'm
I
also
think
off
a
the
lot of-
sauce. It's my sacrifice for the troops. So- she didn't know if I was serious or not, and then Clay had to gag on his microphone.
For the troops? I mean,
No, really,
I would think that you would. I would hope that you would think that I understood you better than that. But
it's since COVID, I just got really hammered drunk by myself down here.
Yeah.
March 20th or 21st, and I just felt terrible for like 4 days. I got like feverish and like just felt gross, and I don't know if it was all that, but it had been a crazy week anyway. So I don't know. I just haven't really been back. It feels more like a dietary restriction, really. But it's also improved my life, I think, emotionally and socially.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing the no booze thing next month for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and just for me, it's just
Dry
because like I'm
January.
not going out, like I'm not going to bars
or
you know what I mean?
shows
Like,
or
and well,
anything like
and
that.
that's the thing. I think that's also made it easier. But like, I've actually gigged and just drank Diet Coke or whatever, and I'm totally fine with that.
Mhm.
Amongst my daily regimen and whatnot. Do you have a
Mhm.
guest?
I have a roommate,
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Sanjay. He was
Sanjay
paying
Gupta.
he was paying me back for the Jameson that I bought him. So yes, Dr. Sanjay Gupta
Great.
just paid me back for the Jameson.
Is he a clean roommate? I mean, do you notice?
So here's the thing,
Here,
and
blink
he can
twice if
hear me
you
right
blink.
now.
Blink twice if
But
you're safe.
what's that?
Oh, he can't hear me. That's why it's funny.
It is. Um, and we have a symbiotic thing, I like to think. He feeds my cats, I take out the trash. I decorate the home, he does the dishes.
Hmm.
Things like this. But neither of us are really clean freaks, no. So it's like a moderate level of grime.
I'm loving it.
Mm.
I'm loving it. I'm loving
It's
it.
good to have that give and take, though.
So I don't know. So maybe vitamin D is a good idea. Is Sanjay taking vitamin D every day?
I don't think so.
We need to
I
just
think
tell
I think
it's
that we
worth it.
need
I really do
to
feel the
get him the
difference.
tea.
And don't at me. I know that there's gonna be my health nerd friends that listen to this and are gonna be like, well, actually, and listen, they can go fucking spray a porta potty with diarrhea if they're so bored because I don't want to hear it
Are
because I'm
they
trying to better my
doing
life.
the, like, sun worshiping thing, though? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Like they're trying to say,
Um,
get outside, you fat piece of shit, and
It's
maybe
called
you won't need to take.
photosynthesis.
no, like,
Mm.
it's been very popular on the internet lately, these memes of, like, people receiving
Oh,
the sun rectally.
they like tan their booty hole for the
Uh-huh.
vitamin D. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Oh, I
someone
heard about that.
someone commented. I shared this article on social mediums, and somebody commented that that's why they tan their booty hole
Yeah.
because that's where
Some
you
people bleach
receive
it,
vitamin D
but
so directly.
Is there
just boof that sun, baby.
Just they called my
mm.
uncle Boof in high school, and we still don't know why.
I thought you said boof.
Well, it Boof. Was it Boof?
Boof?
Boof.
Boof.
It wasn't Boof.
Is there an apparatus that holds their cheeks open so their anus is directly exposed to
It's
sunlight?
always
That's
open.
what
Your
I wonder.
anus is outside
Are
your
you
body.
looking into that, Joe? John?
Yeah.
To call you
looking
Joe.
it
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that whole part, that's technically outside. That's not concealed in the sterile system of.
Well, do you have to
I
like
mean,
lay
part of
on
it's
your? Do you
inside.
have to like lay on your
No,
stomach and hold your
The whole
cheeks apart?
tube. The whole tube from your throat all the way through your butthole is outside your body.
Actually, it's the perineum.
That's their taint area.
Mhm.
I
That
don't know.
they.
The grundle.
Is the
if you will.
area between
You're gonna be hearing from some
The gooch.
what's the proper word for asshole doctor?
people out here butt chucking
Yeah,
sunlight.
we're gonna need to get a doctor on the line.
Oh, what if you
Como se
butt
dice
chug Sunny D?
asshole doctor.
That's the real.
Butt chugging Sunny D is just a shortcut. You don't even have to like actually expose yourself to sunlight.
I
think
cannot
that's the
hear
move.
Clay.
You can't hear me at all.
Just butt chug some Sunny D, Caroline. That's what I was saying.
I heard that.
There
Okay.
you go. I'm understanding that she can't
Sorry,
hear
there was
me,
matter.
but I am being recorded. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everyone just needs to not worry about
not
anything.
worried.
Because I'm good.
How can I worry?
I
I'm not-
hear that if you don't, it just goes away.
Mhm.
The cat just knocked the microphone.
So
So
I got you.
COVID. So you're not.
got you.
You're not. You're kind of. Let's talk about you a little bit for my friends that don't know you. So Caroline and I are friends for like 10 years now, almost.
that sounds right.
Back in 8 years for sure. Of we had mutual friends that I ended up being in a band with, and then we've kind of just stayed in touch and played a little bit together. Caroline's a singer songwriter. Play some piano. I think you play a little guitar too.
I've picked that up recently. Yeah.
But typically I would play guitar for you, and you would just sing, and you have some experience singing with other local bands, but also you have kind of more and more original material all the time that I keep begging somebody to record with or for you, but it's just one of those things that's so hard to get together, especially now.
Right.
So typically, you make you do that, and then you work in restaurants and things, but you can't really do that right now because of COVID, because of the nature of the beast.
Yes. Like many others, I am adrift.
But you're not playing music. You are playing music.
I am playing music.
Yeah. So
So
I saw an invite for something. Can you tell me what that was? I can't remember.
It's a 9 Mile Garden.
it
Oh,
was
the
probably for
garden.
something at 9 Mile Garden.
Mm-hmm. And after.
which has been
A recurring thing?
a re- a recurring thing. I've done a handful of gigs there, and it's nice because it's outside and they're pretty strict about social distancing and stuff like that. So I haven't really been making an effort to go to see stuff like that personally, but um it's, part of what I do. So I feel inclined to do it.
Sure.
But yeah, that's been kind of the only gigs I've had over this. I did some backup for Kara a few weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah, Cara Louise
Um,
band.
yeah.
Yeah, good friends of ours. I always think that I don't really know them that well, but then I see them at something and they're so nice and so happy to see me. I'm like, we must be friends. Maybe I got really hammered once and like we were like bonded and I don't remember.
Well, I think sometimes we underestimate our impact on people,
That's right. I'm kind of a big deal.
especially
And I
if we think
forget
highly of them.
because I got to be me all the time. That's true too. Like that's the thing is like I kind of knew Kara as a talent first, and so I've always been kind of intimidated by the
Yeah.
idea of being friends with people that I meet that way first. Whereas like you, I'm not intimidated by you at all because we've just hung out. I was just joking.
Right.
I was just saying because I thought
I
that
am terrifying, so it's very
that's the thing.
surprising
You are
to
an
hear.
imposing figure.
I
I
am.
mean,
I
you just
lord, I
yeah,
lurk,
yeah.
um, all of those
Wow.
items.
Really good. So what is the future kind of have you been looking at recording some of your original music? I know you do a bit of both. You play with other people and you write your own music and you'll play other people's stuff live and you'll do longer sets like that and whatnot. Um, thank you so much. Oh, we have a link. We have an update about sunlight on your butthole. Um,
Oh,
I do want to hear about
so
that.
good.
good. So let me go back. Let me go back to let me not just interject butthole into the middle of that lovely statement. I was so you so Caroline, you perform your own original music. Also, you do covers to fill sets and whatnot, and sometimes uh playing with other people. But now that we're kind of limited, we can't be working 50 hours a week and gigging every week or whatever. Have
Mhm.
you put some more thought into producing some original material to publish in a recorded fashion?
Um, in a sort of vague way. Like I made like a little demo of patterns with Buddy
Mm-hmm.
a couple months ago. And um Patterns is one of my songs.
You want me to grab that? Oh, you
And
want to?
but then started focusing just more on filling 3 hours of time at 9 Mile Garden. So
Yeah.
and you wanna do originals there, but you get there and you feel like these people don't wanna hear this. It's just not fun to do.
I was trying to think about
So
that.
what I've been
Yeah, and
doing
I
is
like
just
to
like
warm up. I like to warm up on covers if I'm doing a mix because
Uh-huh.
then I can really sell my stuff and really commit to the I don't need you to open it during a pandemic. Joe is getting me. I keep thinking you can see me. Joe is getting me a couple La Croix
Did he open it
for
with
the
his
road
mouth?
here.
I don't understand the
You're
big
like,
deal.
"Don't touch it."
You like use
That's
your
what I'm
teeth
saying.
and you're like,
So thank you, Joseph. So
What's the deal?
so in the process, I think when you're performing live music, not as a showcase of your original music, but as an entertainment kind of as an environmental piece. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're talking about at 9 Mile Garden, which for
Yeah.
those of us here, we have listeners elsewhere who don't necessarily know what we're talking about. It's just like a food truck park with like a bar that has like bathrooms, like
Mhm. Well, the bar itself only serves like craft beers, I heard too, which is a horrible idea for Afton because
They've
that's a
expanded, so
South
they
County
have,
idea of
you can
domestic.
get a can of Busch there now.
Oh, good.
You degenerate swine.
I just thought we could only get $8
mostly
IPAs.
local
That's
craft
oh
beer,
my
but then they have
God.
a couple
You don't have to
of
drink 10 of them, Clay.
You
When
ask
just 'cause
anyone who
it's-
lives within a quarter mile of that place what the fuck a Bavarian
I
lager is.
cannot
They'll probably
hear
punch you
him.
in the face.
he's complaining. He thinks that the beer list is a little too highbrow
At the time,
for the zip code.
at the time, it seems strange. Yeah,
could see that.
My
considering
poor
the
sweet mother.
clubhouse is across the street, and I mean they're a great bar.
You can go get a can of Busch there, you
Mhm.
piece
You
of
can
shit.
get a White Claw. You can get a Shock Top on tap.
He wants a White Claw at the beer garden, Caroline. That's
yeah.
really. Let me just sum that up for you. That's what you missed.
One day there will be a seltzer garden.
Oh, he wants to open a seltzer garden. Will you play at Clay's seltzer garden?
That's what I drink when I'm there. So yes.
You got to stay hydrated. So you were saying that you recorded a demo of one of your songs that I think we did on an internet show. Didn't we play that on a YouTube show? That we went to the old KHX studio and they had like tarps over everything.
Yeah, that was for Song Day afternoon.
And that's a local. Is it a weekly show or a monthly thing?
I'm not sure. I need to check back.
But YouTube
with
that, because that's
that.
the song we're talking about. That's a one great place to find kind of what we're talking about. I got to play guitar on that one, but again, you tracked a demo of that song, kind of trying to imagine maybe the recording process and how you want to move forward therein.
Yeah, that's how I would describe what the effort was there.
Yeah, and so of course, like it's not necessarily easy or efficient to book studio time right now. So maybe that's like demoing stuff is a great way to kind of do that pre-production. So how would you describe the kind of music that you do for people who haven't heard you? And I would love to get you in here when we start doing live streaming performances from down here, but
Yeah,
that's also more of a post-COVID winter kind of a vibe. I think the technology is in place now, but so I know how I would describe, but I hate to put words in your mouth, and I know this is a terrible, awkward question.
well, I put a pin in that because I would love to hear how you would describe it. But I would say if I had to like put it in like 3 or 4 genres, I'd say like folk, soul,
Yeah.
indie pop.
Yeah, I think we like similar things. Like I'm thinking of national acts like Alan Stone, for example, who like is a really great soul singer, but also he's kind of a young like hippie white dude,
Is
and
he kind of the guy he's the guy who did that cover of Sex and Candy, right?
yeah, that's how I found out
yes.
about him. He was on
He has
Yeah.
a
some show
beautiful
doing
voice.
that, and then he's
I do
had
that
some
one
hits
now.
himself, and yeah, and so he's a great example of kind of this contemporary, because everything's kind of post genre now, where it could be soul
Yeah.
and have some folk in it and some other elements, and when I'm around, there's always going to be some crazy, silly guitar stuff that happens. So I think that's a great point. I think there is a community of people that are kind of blending those items like that. But yeah, so where do you derive that inspiration from?
For the genre specifically, or
Or
for
just where does that sound come from? Because I know your writing process is. Do you still have a Wurlitzer in your sunroom or something?
I don't live in that apartment anymore, but I do have a Wurlitzer in my living room now.
Oh, cool. So I know that's going to blend to the sound a little bit, but also with your,
Yeah.
but also, so what else is that kind of what drew you to some of those sounds?
Um, I would say, I mean, the natural makeup of my voice is this kind of like raspy mezzo soprano type alto type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that type of voice just kind of lends itself to more sultry soul kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I grew up listening to like Jewel and Lauryn
I
Hill
fucking
and
love Jewel. I was the biggest Jewel queen when I was in junior high, and I always wondered why didn't girls like me? It's because I was writing like Jewel lyrics on notes I would like make them take from me. Like, please take the lyrics to You Were Meant for Me by Jewel on this Post-it note. And I'd stand there until they took it, and then I'd sprint away. And
You've never sprinted a day in your life.
I would
Don't you lie.
trot. I would trot away. And so you were saying
Broke your foot power walking once.
that did happen. I was wearing flip flops. I was power walking, broke my foot. So I know the kind of
Just see
era.
that shuffle down.
Yeah, I know the era you're talking about. So you'd listen to. Go ahead. You were saying.
Oh, I mean, just like I'm just drawn to that type of artist, like an Amy Winehouse, a Jewel, a Lauryn Hill. Like I'm blanking on a million other artists right now, but definitely that like 90s
What about
singer
Rob Thomas
songwriter.
and Santana?
Listen, don't threaten me with a good time.
I mean,
For the
only
record,
together. They should have done that whole album together.
I unironically love
Smooth was a
No, that
game
was a
changer.
jam. People
It's a
only
great
hate it
fucking song.
because you can't recreate that. You can't catch lightning in a bottle like that.
No, and I feel like with most things that are, widely hated, it's not about the music or the content itself, it's about the fan base and you not wanting to identify with that.
Yeah.
So you say you don't
I
like it.
embrace it. I tell people all the time my first favorite band was the Spice Girls.
Me too.
Oh my god, my first
Spice
grade,
up your
and
life.
I was obsessed with the
I
I'm
was
currently actively obsessed with the Spice
and that's
Girls.
the thing, it kind of had this resurgence where it's like, "Wait a minute. I can order that on Amazon on DVD and watch it in my backyard, unironically, because 'cause I'm a grown man."
You re-listen to that debut album, Spice,
Mhm.
in headphones,
Yeah.
and you're like, the
Yes.
production on this is, like, so funky and, like, edgy for the time and,
Yeah.
like
Well, especially compared to, like, if you listen to who I love, the Backstreet Boys, if you listen to their stuff, it's offensive if you really have a musical ear, like, as an adult, because you know that it's just like a rolling drum machine, and it doesn't
Mhm.
even, like, pretend to sound real. They were just cranking out these music for these kids to dance to, whereas, like,
Yeah.
you're talking about with the Spice Girls had some taste.
Yeah, they
Did
knew
they
how to
work with
curate an album,
Joe
they wrote a lot of that stuff together, it was
Joe, did, the Spice Girls work in the studio with Jules Holland, Jools? Can you look that up? Because I know he was in the movie, and he's a very talented pianist and producer and show
Is he
host.
from Sweden?
Um, he's an English dude.
Mm.
He's a talk show in England or something, and I know he was in the movie, but I don't know if he
Jules
worked with them.
Holland as musical director, but that's IMDb, so I don't think it was real.
No, that was in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think that was
He
real.
was the musical director in the movie. That must have just been a cameo then.
Mhm.
So good. I'm glad we derailed for that.
That movie though.
So, okay, so you're taking this
Fantastic.
influence of this specific kind of sultry, flavorful kind of female
I
vocal.
love divas, yeah,
Yeah, me
in
too.
general,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so then,
and I
but
love pop music, and I love,
I think that's
folk.
one thing you and I bonded over earliest as, people that were hanging out listening to music together was that we really love the pop format and the pop kind of idea of committing to a really tight structure and, um, having groove as an element and really drawing attention to a melody and a lyric that's very direct in a way that pop music is. And so how does that influence kind of your songwriting now?
You say a tight structure, I mean, I like to, like, write myself out of a box
Mhm.
sometimes, like, um, if I don't have anything specific that's inspiring me, recently, I was just sitting on my couch smoking weed with my guitar, and I was
Fucking
just
A.
like, I wanna write something that conveys a certain feeling. What if it was about this, like, book of pink rose postcards that I have? So I, just was like, "Oh, it'll be called, like, Pink Rose Postcard," and then I'll write a verse, and I'll write a chorus, and I'll write a bridge, and I'll write another verse that's the same format as the verse, and then I'll have a song, and whether I like it or not is irrelevant in that moment because I just wanna write something.
Yeah.
So, that, like, that
Are you
box
are you
is the
trying to get me
impetus
drunk,
for
Joe?
writing something.
No,
Yeah.
it was an idea.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay. I mean, sobriety is for the weak. No offense.
Anyway,
What was the question?
there wasn't one. So in the future, like, where would you want listeners of our podcast to kind of find you in the meantime? And I'm gonna have you hang out with us for a bit, but I just kind of wanted to, before I forget, to if there's content somewhere you're promoting.
Not specifically right now, but if you wanna keep up with, like, any shows that I'm doing or any little videos that I put up, my Facebook page is just Caroline. It's my music page, and then I also have an Instagram, and that's called It's Only Dress Up, all one word.
Yeah, I think that's where I usually see your stuff.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook too with just
Sure.
my name.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so people can invite their grandparents and whatnot
Yeah,
to those.
exactly, but that's the story right now. It's just kinda those 9-mile gigs, writing a lot, and, learning a lot of covers, and, trying to just keep things going even though everything seems kind of, like, vague and murky right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, like I mentioned, I'd love to have you back on when there's new material to point out because we could do a live kind of thing here on the show. We have the technology. It's just been sort of limited on access to the building currently. When I say building, I mean my home, to which there's a
Right.
walkout basement door. We use Caroline. Do you ever use talk to text? Boys, wake up.
I'm fucking here, dude.
Yes.
The problem in the situation is that I can't
I'm
speak
trying to do it
directly
more often.
to.
Do not start complaining.
No, I just can't speak directly to Caroline. Therefore, I can't ask questions without seeming rude and in the back.
Yeah, she heard you.
That's good.
Did I?
Yeah. He's good. Yeah, he's great. Oh
That's good.
God, talk to text is so bad. I don't understand. I don't understand what we're gonna do. I'm trying to be better about being on my phone in the car and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
like when I'm trying to like talk to text, it's so fucking sketchy. Like I can live stream right now, like a high definition video of my anus to a family in Indonesia in real time,
Mhm.
but I can't fucking talk to text a text message to people while I'm driving because Siri can't handle it, and it's making me nuts. Like if I I could do a drone strike from this basement right now, but I can't.
That's not something you should announce to the public.
And
But
you're
I-
like an articulate person with a pretty
That's the
neutral
thing. I don't-
American accent.
Yeah, my wife thinks I have more of an accent than I've ever been accused of. But like, I can launch a missile from a basement in Virginia, but I can't keep autocorrect from adding ducking to everything. Everything is
Virginia.
like, why would I say ducking? Why would I say I'm at the ducking mall? Why would I say that? Why would
On
I?
talk to text, it does that?
Oh yeah, still all the time.
For the record, if a mall did involve mostly ducking, I would go there.
That's
more often.
upsetting to me.
Yeah, if it was like a limbo mall, if
It's
it was
like it's like it doing it on purpose at that point.
yeah, and it's an affront to my liberties,
Never meant ducking.
is how I feel.
Ever.
Speaking of grandparents, I was asking my grandmother at lunch the other day if she had heard about the RV park that we talked about the last couple weeks on the show, opening in North St. Louis. Caroline, have you heard about the RV park?
An
I
RV
have
park?
not.
I thought they were building shelter for the homeless.
No, well, this is what it was. So there
Missed
used to
it.
be an RV park in North St. Louis, and now it's opening as tiny homes for the homeless.
That's right. Tiny
Okay.
homes,
And
but
she
better
was
than
saying-
no homes.
And she was saying she really, really, really hope it works out. And we were talking about how we know people, we know so many people, either in our family or from neighborhoods we've lived in, that if they didn't have a home or like a mom or an aunt or a grandma or a brother or somebody taking care of them, they'd be on the fucking street. Right, Caroline? You know
Oh,
people
for
like this.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know plenty of people, present company, some of which may be included, that some people could be on the fucking street if they didn't have somebody watching out for them.
He's talking
And-
about me, Joe.
Yeah, I was talking about
Yeah.
Joe thought I was talking about him.
No,
Both you
he's
motherfuckers,
directly talking
you
about me.
two are like O.J. Simpson and Rodney King. You guys should get an apartment together.
If it weren't for my support system through family and
The
such,
accusations
would've
are
been homeless at least once.
flying.
I've
Yeah,
been
it's-
trying to get an apartment with him forever.
Yeah, it's these two. I have to pay all their rent.
I've had weird fucking goes.
So
Let's not get into it.
So my grandmother really wants the homeless thing to go well. Last week, I think I may have described it as, I hope it's not a bunch of schizophrenic people knifing each other. But I was hearing that the real problem is that, like, I was telling her that the real problem is the way the legislation works, and you know, it's really hard to force someone into treatment if they want to be on the street doing meth and heroin, which is often the case, not always the case, of course, in my personal experience. And she says she remembers Ronald Reagan's administration lifting a lot of those programs to help those people. And she was genuinely mad about it. Like, even still, like, I wasn't there. We weren't born yet, I don't think. I'm thinking of
Yeah,
everyone.
no,
I think I'm the oldest one in here.
We're post Reagan.
We're so post Reagan, bruh. Are you post Reagan?
What was her point about Reagan? That
So
he
she was saying that part of the stuff.
facilitating these?
Well, he was no. Ronald Reagan was cutting a lot of the programs that would keep
Okay,
these
that
types of
sounds
people off the
more
street.
accurate.
Right.
Okay.
And I was surprised that she would ever say anything bad about Reagan, because usually people I know her age are very much, oh, when Reagan was in office, we all had cocaine and jobs.
Lately, not so much.
Back in
So
the
I
good
was
old
shocked.
days.
Biden's America.
But if you look back at it,
No jobs and no cocaine.
I thought she liked Reagan. I didn't know that he did all that. The war on drugs and no help for the homeless. I mean, like real substantial help that people need. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
How's the homeless population in your area right now, with it being winter and all?
It's colder, Jacob. It's colder.
Just talked to a lady today who she was like pulled over on the off ramp on Grand,
Whoops.
and
And you were
she
talking
like
to her?
waved me down and was saying that she was waiting for help with gas because she had run out of gas and they were on the way to the shelter and she had her kids in the car. And so luckily I had some like care packages in my car
Really?
because
Look at you.
no, Meg Moore, who we
Oh,
all
Meg. Name
know about.
drop.
Yeah.
We're doxing Meg. Meg caring for the homeless.
Yeah, so she started this thing called STL Luck Dragons. And so she's been like kind of leading this effort of like a group of us like collecting donations and stuff to put in these little Ziploc care
Wow. I
packages
love
and
that. What's that called
pass
again?
those out. STL Luck Dragons.
And is that on like Facebook
That's
or
on
something?
Facebook.
Yeah. STL Luck Dragons on Facebook. Care packages for the homeless, a real grassroots operation.
Yeah, so I've got a little bin for donations on my front porch, and there's another one at a record store, and I'm blanking on the name of it right now. I won't guess because I don't want to do that. But at a record store, and I'll follow up with you on that if you want
Great.
to
I love that. I love all that
make a
information.
note of anything like that.
That's really good stuff.
But I mean, I've noticed like blankets like kept at like bus stops and stuff because like that's somebody's like home base type of deal. So it's more in the forefront
So I wrote this down in my show prep because my
these
grandmother and
times.
I talked about it for like 30 minutes that like, these people don't want to be on the street, like genuinely. You know what I mean? Like they may want to be free in a way that
Uh-huh.
puts them there, but that's not really like they're not out there for the love of the night.
Right.
Not like they used to be.
Not like
Yeah,
they used to be.
no.
Now back in the day when we had cocaine and jobs, you loved the night.
Exactly, cocaine and jobs.
When you had cocaine and jobs, you were out there loving the night. Just
Your relationship with the night was romantic and passionate.
And necessary.
do you are you a fan of John Mulaney?
Casually, yes. I don't
'Cause
have a bunch of
apparently he just
one-liners
went
at
to
the ready,
rehab.
but
He just went to rehab for coke and booze.
I believe it.
Coke and booze.
no.
The
Coke
groom is
and
still
booze.
alive.
I mean, I could see that, but also he just seems so squeaky clean in a way too.
I
Well,
can't picture him
yeah,
snorting cocaine.
but if you if
no,
you
he was
type in-
sober. He was sober for a long time. He must have relapsed. That must be
That's
why he's in
gotta be it.
rehab. Because remember, he didn't drink, and he had a whole bit about it.
I see.
About how people don't know what to offer you when you don't drink, when you go to a party. Do you want like this avocado? It may have been turnip. I don't remember.
I think I've watched like 2 different specials with him and like listened to interviews with him and stuff, but I just still don't feel like I can just reference anything of his.
Great. Okay.
Honestly,
But-
his recent works with Nick
I'm
Kroll,
really
like
bad
Big
with
Mouth, that might be the
references,
reason they
but I'm
relapse.
familiar with him.
When you really
And
think
that
about it,
does
does Nick
sound
Kroll not look like he does
But
like
cocaine?
so
something-
rehab, rehab is one of those things like you can't force someone to stay in rehab if they get arrested and they get put there so that they don't have to serve any time or anything because it's a nonviolent offense. Things like this happen if people are lucky and they don't just get thrown in jail. But they can't necessarily force people to stay in treatment. You can't get clean permanently if you don't really want to in some way.
right.
Right, which is why some of this stuff perpetuates. That's their liberty. Liberty is hard that way. Liberty is hard that way. We have a dragon on the show named Freedom that I don't have queued up right now. Otherwise, I would queue it. Maybe we'll add it in post. We're not.
Please.
We're not going to. I hate adding things in post.
Don't.
Pussy.
We're free to do a lot of good, I think, but I think we're also free to commit crimes and to harm ourselves
Yeah.
and others. You know what I mean? And we have the freedom of that as an option. In this case, South County Cindy is free to wander up and down Lindbergh with her luggage.
Liberty.
Right.
Because that's what America's all about. The founding fathers said, listen, I want a middle-aged, completely emaciated Caucasian woman who's burnt like a purse
Sorry, I just
to
imagine-
waddle up and down Lindbergh and Gravois with her matching luggage that she's then going to pawn and then take back out upon the next day. Have you don't know who I'm talking about?
I'm
I know who you're
familiar.
talking
I was
about.
just listening.
Yes.
I grew up in that area and people would talk about her a lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've been face to face with her.
Yeah. and
Inside
they
a
would
pasta
say
house
she
Pronto.
has family that like
R.I.P.
takes care of her or
R.I.P.
whatever.
to the
She
Pronto.
refuses.
There's one other guy. Who's the guy who his back is flat. It's at like a 90-degree angle, and he is walking back and forth from work up and down South Grand. That's
Oh
another guy.
Jesus!
You know who I'm talking about?
Are
There's
you
a
are you talking
guy
about the guy that
from Chippewa.
panhandles at Van and Venner and 44, and he looks like he's about to fall over?
Yeah, I think that's the guy.
Yeah,
that's him.
it's heroin. That's what does that.
What?
Oh,
I thought it was that he had a back injury.
It might be a combination of the two,
Yeah.
but the inability to hold his head up and looking like he's going to fall asleep all the time is likely opioids.
yeah. He's always really bent over really hard.
Mm-hmm. I know who you're talking about.
Great. So yeah, we're just going into way too much detail about specific.
Well, we
homeless
got
people in
into
our
the
community.
conversation of the homeless sheltering in North City, and then we just kind of got into weird stuff. We could have just talked about the thing in North City, which is hopeful and nice, and not really
Yeah, I'm sorry.
dwelled on the sad
That was-
things.
Joe slipped me some notes here. It says here, Joe, he gave me a link,
You don't need to look at
and it
those.
says, in a
You don't-
mere 30 seconds of sunlight on your butthole, you will receive more energy from this electric node than you would in an entire day being outside with your clothes on.
I'm sorry.
Says another influencer who goes by Raw of Earth.
That sounds wonderful. First off, I'm going to try that as soon as my neighbors move
thank
out.
you, Rob.
As
Raw of
soon as my neighbors move out from
Earth.
above us, I'm going to be doing that on the back patio, just exposing my butthole to the sun
Just gape it.
every day.
Just
Spreading
gape it.
cheeks.
Just gape it.
Liberty.
Gonna soak
I'm
up the
free to gape.
sun. Sorry, that's what I'm going to do.
So
Free
his
to
so
rock,
hold on, I got more
free to
notes here.
gape.
So Raw of Earth says his tribute to perennium sunbathing includes him and 3 friends heading outside naked and laying down to soak up some rays. At press time, the post was more than 38,000 views. Raw has 24,000 followers. Another perennium tanning advocate, Troy Casey, he has 43,000 followers, says your butt can keep on soaking up the sun for up to 5 straight minutes.
Lovely.
Okay, so is he suggesting that you not let your butt absorb the sun longer than that?
Well, no, so here's the
I
situation.
think you have to do it in 5-minute increments because remember John Hamm was in the news over the summer because he totally got sunburnt on his hole.
The John Hamm would.
Damn.
St. Louis native. There
Was
you go.
he talking about it openly?
No, but it got I think he joked about it. I think he like tweeted about it or something. You know how he is
I
actually.
was hanging out in Belize, and next thing
Yeah.
you know, I reach for a slice of
He's trying to be
cheese
cool.
pizza,
So
and I have a burn on my anus.
yeah, I was just how you do. I was on my yacht. You know what I mean? And I was eating a lobster alive.
I was on the phone with Lorne Michaels, and the next thing you know, I have this horrible sensation.
I was
from
fishing
behind.
with Marlon Brando's ghost. And I lost track of time. He was telling me all about how he wasted all this film on Apocalypse Now because he would just sit there for 10 hours and he was just trying to remember the book in real time, but he never read it. And I lost track of time and I fucking burnt my anus. That's basically what John Hamm told David Letterman or some shit. And it was in David Letterman. I'm 100 years old. He's dead now. He's retired. Well, who's on TV? One of the kids, Kimmel, maybe.
Or doesn't James Corden or something?
Oh,
he had
you know how I feel about the English.
the chubby guy.
Bro, this is
enjoy
totally
him.
what a crazy. I told somebody today that the simulation is fucking with us because parallels keep happening, and
monoliths.
things keep getting connected that I didn't think would be connected. I totally have a weird prejudice against the English that's deep in my soul.
What the
not
fuck?
not like intellectually, like I don't wish anybody any harm, and I want them to be able to vote and own property or whatever liberty means. But I just don't like to hear them talk to me, and I feel like they have resentment that we have our own sovereign nation.
Oh, a bit of a problem, isn't it?
Is it insensitive? I mean, they're
Wait.
the English people. That's not prejudice that's not toxic, is it? I mean, like that. That's what I can't stand.
Wait. No, the problem there though is that voice that you're
I don't
making
think
is
there's
Samuel L.
anything wrong
Jackson
with
trying to do
having
an
a
English
healthy
accent,
instinct for
and that's the
colonizing
problem.
Nation.
You know what I mean? It's the imperialism.
Yeah.
That's really what gets me down it irks my soul. You know what I mean? And
I respect
what if
that.
I told you that Peter Townsend was just one example of deep state globalist pedophile puppeteers, and the song Won't Get Fooled Again is about how the English won't get fooled again by the Yanks and how the power of the Great British Empire will rise again in the West.
Okay, so let's go back.
So listen,
Peter Townsend,
Pete,
a Royal Air Force officer?
who?
Peter Townsend?
Pete Townsend from the Who?
Okay.
He
Yeah,
got
I'm with you.
busted with child pornography on his computer, like in the 90s, and he squirreled his way out of it. And he's toured ever since on the VH1 Classic circuit as a hero and a living legend. The sickness is deep. He's just one contact point on this throbbing sphere of evil that's woven across our great nation.
I don't like
I
your use
wish
of the
I
word
didn't look up
throbbing.
his
Throbbing.
picture.
Throbbing was
Pete Townsend from The Who.
Yeah.
Carolyn.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Caroline.
I'm with you.
I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, it's transatlantic for sure. I mean, this is I don't want to go full Q on you. I don't want to go full QAnon on you.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Glitter is still in prison, I think.
Gary Glitter.
that sounds
Da-na-na-na.
like a-
Hey! Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Hey! That one? Did they play
He's
at
a
hockey games?
pedophile too.
Oh yeah, he got busted with all kinds of kids naked, booty holes gaping in his
I don't
desktop.
understand.
Way back.
I don't understand.
And he
the
also
appeal.
did that song, I'm the leader, I'm the leader, I'm the leader of the gang.
That's
I
bringing
am.
it back to Spice Girls.
Girl, isn't that crazy? That's what I'm saying. The universe is doing that to us to rub it in our face. Boys, it's like when you're playing Call of Duty and you can't kill this dude, but he keeps peeking, and then he starts like doing the teabag up and down in the window to poke fun at you.
You
It's
don't
like
know
that.
about my Call of Duty habits.
But that's true. I was trying to get the boys into the conversation.
The
'cause I felt like,
boys. I'm here.
no, I'm just trying to let you know that I'm thinking about you.
Well, like I
No, I
said,
don't
well,
play
I already.
games.
But
I
what are
already
the
addressed
odds
the situation.
that we would talk about the Spice Girls and then we would talk about
Gary Glitter.
Gary Glitter in the context of him being a pedophile, but then he also wrote a song that was in Spice World, the movie. I didn't know we were going to talk about Spice World when I wrote that in my show prep. The sickness is deep.
The circles are closing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
Can
feel
you
like we've
can you
been
feel
bouncing
the
around
a
love?
lot.
and they keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Clay,
feeling it.
What?
Clay,
Feeling it.
can we talk about Wild Things?
Would you like to start that conversation now?
I would love to talk about Wild Things. Caroline, have you seen the 1998 hit Wild Things? Matt Dillon, Denise Richards, Nev Campbell, Bill Murray.
I've not. I recognize those names, but I have not.
So,
seen
Clay,
this
let's
movie.
describe the premise of Wild Things to Caroline as a person who's never seen it. I love that this is available as an option because
Yes.
we need a format.
I love that we do have a canvas then to paint this conversation onto, which is
Glad to be here
Caroline, who's
for it.
not fully into the conversation.
So yes.
Let's go ahead and get it. The movie's described on what its entire premise is in the first few minutes of the movie. And Matt Dillon writes the sex crimes on the whiteboard at the senior conference or whatever the fuck thing they were doing, the seminar, so kids could avoid study hall. I don't know. It was stupid. It was one of those late 90s high school idea movies. It's great. But mostly it's about sex crimes and
Okay.
how they're bad.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the entire movie, and I have plenty of things that I want to talk about.
Okay, so let's start with just some major plot points here. So
Okay,
it
great.
opens with, as Clay was describing, Matt Dillon is the guidance counselor at a affluent suburban like coastal nightclub. They have like a yacht club, not nightclub. I'm sorry.
It's a rich Florida community,
Florida, yeah.
right outside of the Everglades, which is why there's so much reference to, even in the opening credits, they're referencing like alligators and, well, I mean,
Yeah,
the
so
swamps and all that
shit. It's a sexy drama that starts in
It's a crime drama.
affluent Florida suburb just outside the Everglades, and that plays into the setting and some of the criminality of the thing and the
Yeah.
aesthetic, of course. And so we're supposed to believe that Matt Dillon, who is still very young and totally shredded, is and his character's banging all the women and all the rich women in town, but he's also the guidance counselor at the school. So
Right.
that somehow already is supposed to make
Well,
sense. And
he's very entrepreneurial, and he
Entrepreneurial.
fuck, I'm sorry, I'm
Entrepreneurial.
not an English teacher
It's
who
the
now doesn't
literacy
teach
crisis in
English,
our
so
nation.
suck a dick and let me fucking talk.
I'm listening.
It's just, I mean, it's the whole thing. He's that guy that takes people under his wing and helps people out and yada yada. And he's like that role model for the kids, and he wants to see them succeed, even though he lies about his shit. Like, there's the one kid that he's like has in the sailing club, and he's like, working on boats is how I paid my way through college.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Bacon later in the movie is just kind of like, he had a scholarship. He's a fucking liar.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, he was doing stuff to be inspirational and be like a good guy, but clearly there were some things revealed throughout the movie that proved that he's he's not like the best guy, but
So
on the
that's the
surface, he's
thing.
pretty great.
That's what's so great about this movie.
Fuck, now
is
there's 2 cats on me.
It takes you on a journey of who is supposed to be the good guy here and who am I supposed to like? Because you start off really thinking you're supposed to like Matt Dillon because he's kind of the main guy, but it's already the opening scenes are already kind of weird and there's sexual
Yeah.
tension. That's
Oh my God, it's
inappropriate.
horrible. It's like every girl that is 18 is like, oh, I want to fuck.
I want
this
to
guy.
fuck this
From the
guidance
from the
counselor.
beginning of the movie. The first like thing you see it's a first person view perspective of Matt Dillon walking across the campus to this senior seminar thing, and it's like dudes checking him out and be like, oh, what's up, bro? You're dope. And then women and group
You're the
checking
best guidance
high school
counselor.
senior girls checking him out and being like, ooh, that's that hot guy. And it's like, oh, it's fucking Matt Dillon. Gross.
Yeah, it's
Like
so weird.
shit. Why is he
It's
this
so
guy?
weird. It's so weird.
Icky.
He's got
So-
great chest hair, but other than that, it's like, what are you doing, man?
Terrifying.
So it's supposed to be
His
sexually
eyebrows will
provocative.
literally eat your babies.
Like I think the classic
I'm
scene.
picking up on that.
Yeah, the classic scene from the movie is Nev Campbell and Denise Richards. They get in like this slap fight and they end up in the pool, but then they start making out.
Slap
And-
fight. She tries to fucking drown her like 3 times.
She tries to Denise Richards tries to drown Nev Campbell, but then they're like kissing and they're all wet. And it's like that's like the poster. Like if you go watch it on Amazon tonight, that's the poster.
Yeah,
in
it's
Amazon.
them in the pool
The
looking
two
at
of
you all
them
seductively.
with like wet makeup with puppy dog eyes coming out of the pool. It's like ugh,
He's
because they're
so
supposed to
right.
be like
It's
17
horrible.
in the movie. It's so gross.
I think you guys are. Bill Murray is in it.
Bill Murray
Bill
is a
Murray
supporting
is
role.
in
He
it.
plays the lawyer.
And actually, he's one of my favorite characters in the entire movie because he does his job well while still being Bill Murray in the
Right.
sense that he's
Yeah.
he's literally himself in the movie,
Right.
but he's a lawyer. And even as he like helps win the case for Matt Dillon to drop the rape charges and all of that, like he's just kind of like fuck yeah, like driving down the highway, hitting the fucking roof, like flipping off the limousine with the people who tried to sue Matt Dillon, like fuck you guys, and
so-
they get the settlement of like the $8.3 million lawsuit for that whole thing of ruining Matt Dillon's career, and plot twist turns out they all planned it to try to get the
So
rich
hold on.
mom's
So let me
money.
catch
We'll get
Caroline
into
up.
it.
Let me catch Caroline up real
Please.
quick. So Matt Dillon's this guidance counselor, and then they make it look like at the beginning of the movie that Denise Richards is this wealthy student or from a wealthy family
Rich bitch.
who's a senior in this senior seminar with this guidance counselor that's Matt Dillon, and then she's doing a fundraiser to wash people's cars for something.
Car
And so
wash.
she comes over to his house on a Sunday, which is already a red flag,
Mm.
to wash his Jeep because he had gotten it all muddy out in the glades. And then she this is like
So
early in the
true. That's
movie.
exactly
This is
what
not a
happened.
spoiler alert. And then she comes in, and she's all wet, and she had told her friend to leave, so she's there all by herself.
Because she wants to bang him.
Well, and then you don't see what happens, and then she runs, and then you see her just running out, and she's obviously upset and pissed off, and she runs home. Now you don't know really what happened. Then she goes home. She tells her mom, who's this like widow. Her husband killed himself. He was but super rich, and so they're super rich, but she's totally like a hoe. Like she's nailing this young dude, and then they're fighting because her mom doesn't care that her dad died, and then Denise Richards hates her mom because she's 18, and then she says that Matt Dillon's character
Raped her. Mm.
and
Ruppy.
then, so then that starts to play out, and he's maintaining he didn't do it, and that she and then the lady cop, there's 2 cops, the lady who I don't know, beautiful young woman of color whose name I do not know, and
Mhm.
Kevin Bacon, they're the sex crime cops that are working that's their beat in that area, right? Are cases
Mhm.
like this. And so the lady cop is all like, oh, Denise Richards made it up because she came on to him and got rejected because, and then blah, blah, blah. So it turned into...
The actress is Daphne Rubin Vega, who played Detective Gloria Perez.
Thank you, Claybug.
You're welcome.
And Clay IMDb'd her for me.
I did.
And
I
it turns
don't wanna
into this
step on your
double
toes,
cross,
Joe, but
which
I
turns
did.
into like a triple cross, and it's like, it comes out in court that they fake the allegation. Nev Campbell and
Nev
Denise
Campbell,
Richards.
yes, because Nev Campbell is also like, oh, he raped me too, like last April.
And they synced up what he said to them in their statements,
Mhm.
and that's how they were able to get a warrant on him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bill Murray's his lawyer, and he's not a very good lawyer, but he can't get a
Well, he's like a Saul Goodman type. He's like very
Saul
skeezy.
Goodman type.
Like his office is like shitty and poorly kept, and his receptionist like has her tits out, like not like all the way, but like cleavage.
And he says, "Can you show him out?" And it's just a foyer. There's not even a door to his office.
Yeah, it's like, can you show him out? And she's like, "See you later, honey."
See you,
And like, then
see
he
you later,
leaves.
Matt Dillon.
See you later, babe.
Or it's just Bill Murray as a lawyer. Like
It's literally, hey Bill, we want you to just be you and anything else that you've done, but right now you're a lawyer. And he's like, oh cool, so I'll dress like a lawyer, I guess, and then just read these lines. And that's what he does. Other than that, he's completely 100% himself in every movie. He's himself in Groundhog's
Like his
Day.
hair's all fucked up and he's
yeah,
probably a little
yeah, and his
hungover
shirt's
and-
like half tucked in, and he doesn't care. And he's like, oh sorry, I'm late. When they win the fucking lawsuit, he already bought himself a Ferrari for the fucking money that he got off of it. Like he pulls up in a
Right.
brand new car.
Yeah.
right.
He's like, he's a shithead.
I didn't realize it was that much money, so I had Clay watch it because I was like, okay, I want to do.
The
like-
lawsuit was 8.3 or 8.45, I can't remember, $1 million. It was
Yeah.
up there.
I missed that detail because I was playing Cyberpunk while rewatching it over the weekend.
Yeah. No, I had my phone down to the side, not touching it. I watched that movie all the way fucking through. And also, if you do finish it, you have to watch the credits because during the credits they explain some of the things that you'd like to know about how they got away with this lawsuit and framing and and how
Oh, so this is based on a true story.
I don't think so. If this were based on a true story, then there is a lot of fucked up shit in Florida. So actually, it might be.
Sounds like
Wild Things is not a true story. Put it to bed. Now it's kind of like a romance novel.
Yeah, it's
It just
like a
sounds
murder
like
mystery
it was
romance.
written
Takes place in the
by
yacht community
some
of Blue
dude
Bay.
who had weird fantasies about
Joe, look up who wrote that.
hating women.
If I could get into this just for 1 second, just because we can continue talking about how the story twists and turns, because as a crime drama, it does a really good job at being like, oh shit, like plot twist here and plot twist there, and it does really really good job at that. I mean, but also it's just skeezy and it's about banging high school girls. It's horrible, but at the same time,
I'm sorry, Maurice.
So they end up
place
having a
Sandbag.
three-way: Nev Campbell and Denise
They
Richards and Matt
do.
Dillon. When it comes out that we all three of us faked the whole thing to get this money
yeah,
out of her mom. So they faked it in such a way that the girls faked the allegations, but Matt Dillon was in on it. Spoiler alert. And the
Of
idea
course.
was that the girls would do what they did in court and have this big fight in court and make a scene, and it would come out that they made those allegations up. But then Matt Dillon would sue the mom for defamation, and that's where he gets the $8 million because Denise Richards wanted her trust money
And then
before
some.
her mom died.
mhm.
That's wild.
But then it turns into like a quadruple cross where then it turns out
Well,
Kevin Bacon is in on
Hold
it.
on, before you get into that, because Kevin Bacon goes from being quiet to the side, doesn't give a fuck detective, to then being like up there at night, like stalking them and like scaring them into like trying to talk and shit about like, because he knows what's going on. He like grabs Nev Campbell by the throat and like tries to scare the shit out of her. And then she freaks out. And then, and then we're all led to believe through shots and all that and certain editing that, they're going to snuff her out and that Matt Dillon and Denise Richards are going to fucking cut her out of the loop and then run away with, half a cut each instead of a cut, like three-way
Right, instead
cut.
of splitting it.
Mm-hmm. And then you find out that Kevin Bacon's just really getting into this shit weird, and he tries to put the death on Denise Richards, the death of Nev Campbell, even though they didn't really prove anything, but they had enough evidence to put it on her.
Yeah.
And he goes to the guest house at that rich bitch's house and kills her because she assaults him with a gun in her dad's gun cabinet. And then you find out that, Kevin Bacon and Matt Dillon are trying to cut them out in their own way. And they were going to try to pin the murder on Denise Richards and get her out of there. And then they faked Nev Campbell's death. And then Kevin Bacon and him are out on a boat. The whole thing happens. Jacob, you can take it
Well,
from here.
and so so at first it looks like this dude could have raped this girl, and then it's revealed that these two girls made this up together, and then it turns into Matt Dillon was in on it also, and they have this like three-way one last night together thing after he gets the money out of the mom. But then they make it look like they kill Nev Campbell, and there's teeth and blood on the scene, and that's how they conclude that she must be dead. Maybe he fed her to alligators, because again, we're in the glades.
Mm-hmm. And he knows his way around the swamps.
And he knows how to take that Jeep out in the swamps. And I love pronouncing swamp that way.
Swamps.
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 And
Swamps.
then and then it becomes clear that it's him and Denise Richards, and then Kevin Bacon makes it look like she shot him, so he had to return fire, and then she's dead. But then it turns out he had shot another kid, and so he gets fired because he's shooting too many kids. He had shot another kid in his past before the movie started, Davey, and then so he gets fired. But then you see him naked in Matt Dillon's shower in fucking Maui. Or some
he hangs
shit.
fucking dong.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon is hanging dong. In this movie,
you see his butt, and you're like, okay, cool, that's a pale white man butt. And he turns around and he shows off. He's got a decent piece.
He's totally flashing piece. You think that was his real piece?
I think it's a shower.
Hanging dong.
You think it was a prosthetic?
No, I don't think. This isn't fucking Boogie Nights. It was a standard, okay size, average dong.
I thought it was good pipe. I thought it looked like
it was a damn decent pipe.
It looked a lot like
it wasn't like it was crazy. It's not like he was trying to kill somebody with it.
No, but it looked like the very tasteful penis I went with on Cyberpunk 2077 because you get to customize your genitals, but they don't have
not women though.
I will say that I don't know what kind of budget cuts they had to make for the movie, but his gunshot wound makeup that he had on his arm looked like a fucking sticker. Like it looked fake as fuck.
Oh, that's the other thing. So Kevin Bacon turns out Kevin Bacon goes into the pool house, shoots Denise Richards, double taps her in the sternum, then takes her gun, puts it in her hand, and shoots himself in the shoulder meat. But then the scar's all bubbly and gross when he's hanging dong in Matt Dillon's
doesn't look real. It looked like someone chewed up some bubble gum and stuck it to his arm.
So yeah, it was a bad fake wound. Really, is what.
Joey, looks like you want to say something.
I want to
contribute. So while we're still on the topic of this movie, have you listened to the new Taylor Swift album, Evermore?
Evermore, yeah. I gave it at least one pass through at work. I'm a big fan. I really loved the one that came out earlier this year with the guy from Folklore. I really love that and played the shit out of it.
It's with the same people.
Right. And so it's like the Justin Timberlake 2020 experience that was like one big album that they just kind of split into pieces.
Love that one too. But what I was getting at was there's the collaboration with Haim, and it's like the murder mystery song. It's like, I think he did it, but I just can't prove it. You know that one? Anyway, it's a murder mystery song. Made me think of it.
Yeah, I always start with
it's like, is this person? But then it was actually this person. But actually, it was me.
That was good. Actually, I didn't think that you'd make a connection, and that was a good connection.
Yeah, it's like kind of a country.
But no, I remember that song because I listened to all the collabs first because those are always like my favorite. Like
collaborations.
Like we were talking, I was making Joe listen to my December playlist that I curate on Spotify. That we have a playlist for every month since COVID started. But one of the songs on there was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts on Miley Cyrus's new album.
Yep.
Which I'm totally a fan of. I listen to it all the time. There's like 4 songs on my playlist this month from that album. And Joe was like, is this Miley Cyrus? I'm like, with Joan Jett, Joe.
That's not how I talk.
That's not how either of us
I like the
talk.
Billy Idol one. I need to do a re-listen.
I like that
album.
one too. I like that one. And then there was one that was just her that I really liked. I don't remember the name of it, but it's on there too. So yeah, I try to stay contemporary and see what, the kids are up to. You know what I mean? And
she gets around. Miley
which one?
Cyrus.
Millie Vanilli.
Miley Cypress.
Miley Cypress.
I was gonna talk about. I just wanted to contribute the sequel spin-offs of Wild Things.
No.
No, I just wanted to show you that we got Wild Things. We have Wild Things 2.
Who was in that one?
Wild Things, the same people. Excuse me. Wild Things, Diamonds in the Rough, and then Wild Things Foursome. So
There's
I think
no
it just
way.
No. And you forgot about the prequel, Tamed Stuff.
Foursome?
It's called Tamed Stuff.
Tamed Stuff.
Oh my!
It's the prequel to Wild Things.
That's just an orgy at that point, no?
Right. It just turns into this.
Are you kidding me?
Porno selection.
But they're not all in all of those, Joe. There's no way they're all in all of them.
They're
Starts
not.
to be like Grease.
Yeah, it'd be like,
Grease too.
Tamed Stuff isn't real, by the way. I was lying.
It's more of an idea.
It's fake.
And
Don't try looking it up. It's not real.
Tell me more. Tell me.
You can't do that to Joe. He's very sensitive. So who's in?
Tell
No,
me more.
neither of these chicks are Denise Richards or the other one.
No, those are the sequels they're making to try to make money on
podcast.
it, but at the same time, they
But
probably
they're-
can't get those people to
they're
do
just
that
like-
again. Neve Campbell was wrapped up in the Scream movies. Denise Richards was too busy. Was she with Charlie Sheen?
They probably made a video game too. I'm looking for that.
That's probably
And
but, okay, so
interactive
what is-
on Newgrounds.
So Wild Things 2
Mhm.
is two ladies in a pool looking at the camera, and there's the like silhouette of a firearm under the
I didn't
water.
even see that. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
mystery
going to it
within
right
the.
now via
But
my
is there
phone.
is there another one? You said there was a third one?
There was a third called Diamonds in the Rough, 2005.
I'm not seeing a silhouette in this poster
It's
here.
below the. It's
below
Wild
the
Things
water,
2.
bro.
There's
Well,
a-
no, but below the water there, then they have Matt Dillon and Kevin Bacon like posing all sexy.
No. I'm looking at Wild Things 2, brother.
Oh, Wild Things 2. Oh, they're dying to play with you.
We're on the hunt.
It's so stupid.
It's so,
Is that the tagline?
From the first one, yeah.
it's so stupid.
Jesus. So Joe, have you watched this movie yet?
No, I haven't. I don't even know.
Oh yeah. So it's great.
It's on my. I texted my whole family. I said, "Movie night, Wild Things."
Please don't watch this with your family.
Matt Dillon fucks Kevin Bacon.
No, that doesn't happen.
Well, he fucks them over.
He shoots him with a
Mhm.
fucking harpoon gun.
No, he does not. Nev Campbell does.
Who'd Nev
Twice.
Campbell shoot?
Kevin Bacon.
She did shoot Kevin Bacon.
Twice. Yeah. Now, Matt Dillon tries to use his sailing knowledge to knock Kevin Bacon off the boat, but Kevin Bacon holds onto that rope real tight and gets back up there. Then Nev Campbell comes out of nowhere and shoots him with a harpoon gun, and she's got blonde hair. It looks horrible. And, well, then it goes on to being like, oh, she was never dead, and you really
No.
shouldn't have killed Denise Richards because the original plan involved her being alive.
There's a fourth one. It's called Wild Things Foursome.
He just said that. He said all the movie
No,
titles.
but I'm finding them all. So they all focus around two young women who are trying to do some criminal plot to come across an inheritance of millions of dollars. That's the plot of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Ripping off the
basically.
rich.
And so there's Wild Things 2, Wild Things, what was it, fucking Blood Diamond or some shit?
That can't be it.
Wild Things Diamonds in the Rough, and then Wild Things Foursome. Let's go to Foursome. That was 2010. If they go Wild Things 5 Alive, I'm gonna fucking be through. You could sell me for a penny.
Oh, and then there's the 2009 sequel, Where the Wild Things Are.
Where the
That's not
wild
connection.
things
Thank you, IMDb. Clearly, I was looking for that.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so we saw, turns out Nev Campbell done the whole thing. All she had to do was rip her own teeth out and lay low for a while, and then she slipped away with all the money.
Even you see in the credits,
the
Bill
money,
Murray.
honey.
Bill Murray helps her to
Of course,
get
Bill
the
Murray.
money. So Bill Murray, and he gets a cut of it.
Of
So
course.
in the end, both people that win in the situation are Bill Murray and Nev Campbell.
And it turns out the reason Nev Campbell did the whole thing was because
She
she
was
wanted
fucking-
revenge on Kevin Bacon because Kevin Bacon shot her friend Davy.
Yep. And she had like a 200 IQ or some shit.
And she was a really smart
No one
lady.
told anybody till
And
the end of the movie.
She was a really smart girl. And she lived in the swamp. She had like a 200 IQ.
Mm.
And she engineered this whole revenge plot to just retire with fucking probably $7 million by the time she got to it. And
And probably no college.
fuck college. You got $7
Probably no
million.
college.
Yeah, and 200 IQ.
And 57
And a suitcase full of money and a new
pimples.
blonde haircut. She was ready to go.
She
was.
fucked Bill Murray for sure.
She.
on
There's
that
no
set.
way she.
No,
fucked Bill
she
Murray.
did not fuck
Maybe
Bill
in real
Murray.
life.
No, because Bill Murray's that guy that can help you out and
I
go
have a
along his
feeling
way
Bill
and
Murray does okay for himself.
buy
He's
his
probably.
hats.
Is he married? Joe, look up
Go,
if Bill Murray's
Joe.
married.
Bill Murray is so good at being
Caroline, maybe you
himself.
can help me with this. Something I noticed that I wrote down. I always like to bring stuff up for. I've backed therapy off to every 3 weeks for the holidays. So some of the
Okay.
stuff I would do there, we kind of have to work out here. I noticed
I
even
love
before the
this.
pandemic, Joe, this is something you and I talked about a lot, but a lot of people, especially people my age, are having this crisis of like, I did all this stuff I was supposed to do, and I'm really, really unhappy, right? Like we had a guest last week who totally abandoned his engineering job because he had a negative experience, and
Sure.
he is now, doing comedy full time in quarantine. And I helped him out with some sketches and stuff. That's Andrew Kieselman at STL tonight that we had on last week. That was a fun time getting to know him and his process. But it's that thing that a lot of people our age, I think, and Caroline, I think maybe you're Clay's age. We're 10 months apart. Clay and I.
I think Clay's like 1 month younger than me or something.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
like,
usually how it goes.
for
Great.
a couple days.
Great.
When's your
So
birthday, Clay?
November 15th.
mhm.
15th?
Mhm. 1-5.
Yeah, you're 2 weeks younger than me.
Yeah.
God damn.
So,
Oh, I
did
missed
you
your
just have a
birthday.
birthday?
Early November then, yes?
I turned 29 on Halloween.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's
You
right.
fucking
Halloween.
goblin. All right.
I was thinking the 2 weeks the other way for whatever reason. So, I mean, you know, like with me, for example, like I got this really great job that I always told myself I wanted, but then like once you accomplish those early life goals, like you tend to get really lost about like how to feel meaningful in your day-to-day
Yeah.
life, I think. And I think a lot of people are really grappling with that right now because they're at home with their choices. And they're
And
or
their
they have
lack
this
of vitamin D.
opportunity to, completely blow up their previous career and do something else because everything's kind of crazy.
Right.
And you know, like, is the answer that, like, you have to immediately have children to fix that problem? I don't know. Some people are doing that. I mean, but, like,
Yeah,
what
I've
if, like,
heard that they fix everything.
they fix everything, right? If you just
You
get
pop them out
it's
and
like,
just like
imagine you're drowning in the existential void, and then someone hands you an infant. You don't wanna get out of bed because you're
Score!
afraid to confront your life.
Actually, that might be true.
Go ahead and get a
Like,
baby in
you
there.
like go into like that instinctual like
Yeah, I'ma
parenting
slap a
mode. It's like, oh
baby
fuck,
on it.
my life sucks. I don't know how to exist in my own
It'll be
plane,
great.
but I got to keep this thing alive. So and then
Now
you
I gotta
literally-
feed this baby.
and it distracts you
Yeah,
from all your
there's definitely
problems.
that perspective of
Somebody's
like
gotta
that
feed
can
this
be
baby.
motivation.
You know what? I'm gonna go have a baby right now because I've had a really bad couple months, and that just seems like the best
Oh,
solution.
No,
what's the
no.
question though?
No.
No,
No,
Who's
no,
gonna
no.
feed the
no,
baby?
no.
I don't know. Like, I mean, like, what if I want to bring a child into a healthy environment with parents who feel like purposeful in their role as citizens? Like, am I crazy? Is that
Well,
asking too much?
A healthy environment doesn't involve 9
Yeah, I
Diet
think a
Cokes a
lot of
day.
us have our heads
Look, I'm
there,
kicking the Diet
for sure.
Coke.
Oh,
New year,
Clay.
new me. I'm kicking it.
You can't just come on here.
I'm sorry. I didn't talk shit on Lion's Choice. It's just Diet Coke.
I do love Lion's Choice. I don't know. So, I mean, are you grappling with that like artistically at all, or in your own part? I just feel like a lot of people our age are like, what am I gonna do next?
Can you say that again? Like the question?
The question.
I mean,
Do you,
I have
do you
been
hear
thinking
me?
about identity and vocation a lot lately in
Sure.
relation
That's
to
what I'm saying.
the pandemic. I think that a lot of people identify with their work for sure. And like I never really identified with being a server.
Oh, me
Like
neither.
I think I identify more with music and performance, but he's knocking. I need to go get him in here. Sorry.
Go get that buddy.
Joe,
I'll be right back.
yeah, Joe, this is a conversation you and I have started previously.
I told him I'd leave the door open.
Right.
Buddy's here.
Joe,
Mhm.
are you listening?
Present.
I'm listening.
So, do you have a response
Yeah.
to the quarter life crises that we're observing all over social media?
Yeah, if you could form it in a question
I don't have a question.
that I can remember.
What would you like to talk about in reference
Like, okay,
to
so
the
like a really
quarter-life
profound
crisis?
piece of like what I've been working on in therapy lately is like forgiving my past self for settling for being unhappy previously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jesus.
Like trying to plan dramatic changes in my life like 10 years ago before any of those things really started to take shape. Like it would have been arrogant of me to assume that my impulses, to pursue riskier career options were valid
Yeah.
for my greater joy down the road. I didn't know any
Your
better.
identity has to do with what you
Yeah.
do. And
You know what
how
I
people
mean?
want
And
you
like
to
I
do.
never envisioned the day-to-day challenges. It was all macro. You know what I mean? There was no class on how to like cope with the existential dread that, hits so hard after lunch.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is breaking out of that first draft, of your, like you were saying, you can't take risks, that early on. But I think a lot of how you do really good work comes from being able to break out of that first draft of your life. Not that I'm saying you're in your first draft.
Are you saying I'm in my first draft?
No, I'm not saying you're in your first draft. I'm just saying I think you should forgive yourself for not taking risks, because I think that's all part of the.
I think that risks should be necessary, and like drunken 2 a.m. texts to somebody you shouldn't be texting.
That's a bad
Right.
idea.
No, that's how you got to live it.
No.
Hashtag no regrets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
He keeps saying first draft like there's some sort of revision happening and there's going to be a final draft. No. No drafting. All just straight up drunk texts. Like maybe ducking is in there because of autocorrect.
Yeah. So
Other things.
So Caroline Clay is insinuating that he just shoots from the hip. And
Every time.
He doesn't draft his life plans. He just, he sends drunk text messages at 5 a.m. to people.
No.
You should not be texting.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not a literal. It's not literal.
That is
drunk
literally
texting.
what you
Jazz
said,
over
though.
here.
No, it's
too.
not. It's not in a literal form. I'm saying that if your life is a first draft of what it could be right now, according to Joe, my life is more like drunken texts at 2 a.m., where I'm just kind of going from what's popping in my head at the moment.
So that's not
why.
your goal.
That's why I was, partially homeless while finishing paramedic school in Kansas City, and I moved home and I did nothing with finishing paramedic school. And now I'm a bartender and I live with a wonderful lady in U City. I didn't plan any of that. There was no drafting.
Yeah.
I'm just shooting from the hip, like you said.
Yeah, great.
Mhm.
That's healthy, probably.
Well, the planet's dying, Jacob.
I think
Caroline, would you describe yourself as shooting from the hip?
I like to just describe it as jazz.
Jazz is good. I like that.
It's
Mm.
that makes it sound cooler and
Less reckless, less frightening.
desperate.
Yeah.
It's not desperate.
Yeah.
It's whimsical.
Desperate. Clay prefers whimsical to desperate.
Is the term shooting from the hip referring to like a sexual organ, or is it
No,
just
no.
like
That means like when you pull your gun out of your holster and
Joe, do you not have a dick on your hip?
and fire. You don't have a dick on your hip?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, right.
Caroline, so remind me again, where can I invite people to find you online to see what you're up to in the near future with your various musical endeavors? Hey, buddy.
There's Buddy.
There's my friend Eugene.
He's not connected to this mic, so we gotta get him in on the call. Is that possible?
How?
Wait,
We can't.
Why not?
Do you have a splitter?
Oh, you're on a Google thing.
Yeah,
we're doing
it's a
fifth
Google Meet.
person?
Well, that's Buddy.
I'll just look pretty.
Buddy.
Hi.
You
Hi,
could just-
Jake.
Yeah,
Hi, Buddy.
I love Buddy. I want to do a thing with Buddy someday. We don't know what. Me and Buddy have thrown that back and forth for a long time.
We're gonna do all sorts of things someday.
Someday, maybe, when the war is
Yes.
over, and when the fighting stops, and it's so lovely to see your faces in the same room. The color coordination happening right now is on fleek. It was green and red day at work where I work today. Caroline, I was asking. You were saying YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, if you like search on YouTube, just Caroline Steinkamp, some stuff will pop up, and then I have a music page. It's just
just
Caroline.
shooting from the hip on that one.
Well,
Shoot.
jazz.
If you just
Jazz
shoot,
improv.
if you just shoot some jazz, Caroline, into the YouTube, and then your music page,
You
Caroline,
won't find any jazz
on
but you will
Facebook.
find
I'm excited about stuff that's going to be forthcoming from you guys. I'm so excited to hear more from you and have you guys on the show live here soon. I'm going to let you guys go because we are way over the time I promised that I'd let you go by. But I so appreciate seeing you, and I want to see you guys again soon.
Alrighty.
Anything for the good of the gander before we bounce?
I think we're gonna go live Wednesday night and
Yeah.
maybe on Christmas too, and just do
Yes.
some Christmas.
So this
songs
will
and
be
say hi to
posting
people.
Wednesday morning.
Christmas.
So this will be
Full
posting.
Christmas, holiday special.
There are so many men talking in my
What?
ear right
I'm
now.
sorry.
Ah.
There's patriarchy
Hey.
happening.
Hey.
This is why I invited you, because I need your feminine touch on the experience. So you're talking about live on your Facebook page, you believe, or Instagram?
Probably Instagram.
Yeah, it's only dress up on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and live on the 23rd, and live maybe Christmas Day, the 25th,
Yeah.
Wednesday and Friday.
If the
this
people
week.
want it.
I think that's a
We'll
good
do it.
idea. And then I'll do Christmas Eve, and then that way we're not competing. And
Okay.
then we're recording this now. This will go out Wednesday morning, so that'll drop just in time to get people on the up.
Yeah. I just decided that today when I was smoking weed and drinking coffee.
Oh, I thought you meant like when we were
Fuck,
just
that sounds
talking
nice.
about it. That would be funny.
It was an epiphany, yes. Either way.
Smoking
But that's
weed and
that's
drinking
really all that's going on anyway. So
Yeah, that's
good
great.
stopping point.
No, that's good enough. That's good enough for me. So yeah, you guys are dismissed. and I'll be in touch here shortly, babe. I'll give you a hit up on the gram.
Thank God.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Feel free to hang up on me.
Bye, Caroline.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, Jake.
Bye, buddy. I think we're alone now. Hey, Joe. We're still going. I just wanted to let them go because they were having issues hearing us, and I really was talking her ear off. And she's so great, Caroline Steinkamp, Buddy Shoemaker, Eugene, Buddy Patterson, Shoemaker the third.
Eugene. For some reason, I thought his name was Greg.
No, Greg.
Oh, wait, no, I know this other buddy.
There's a guy named Greg who's also Buddy.
I know another guy from high school that was Buddy, but his name was actually Greg. That's what I did. Eugene.
That's a good,
Shoemaker,
solid very
name.
Talented, handsome gentleman, and a
Joe,
bartender extraordinaire.
Can you see what that cat's doing?
Yeah, what is it, buddy?
If the cats are fucking with my show again, I swear to
They're
God,
not fucking with your show.
I'll
They're,
leave
they're
the back
smelling
door
my
open.
jacket.
Let them smell you. You got a cat at home, is why. They're smelling betrayal, is what they're
I
smelling.
don't care. They're loving on me. He's okay. Everything's fine.
Jake, these cookies, these are phenomenal.
They really are.
Yeah,
I've
don't
enjoyed
eat 'em all.
every
I'm
single.
gonna have-
Oh, we've been plowing through these.
No, I just want
cookies.
one.
Because we couldn't really get a word in because you were talking so much.
Joe, we were talking. Joe, we were just talking about the existential dread. What was that?
That was crazy, man. You see that?
Was that my microphone?
No.
Oh, it's fine. Microphone's fine.
No,
Nothing happened to the
we were
microphone.
it was the
I
cat.
think the 10-year warranty on that one's expired.
It's okay. It's still functioning.
He kicked the cat.
Joe, I need a water.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. So, Clay, let me catch you up. Me and Joe have had this conversation before, but it's not uncommon for even really successful people our age to feel this existential dread once they kind of go through the motions and find that they're really unhappy even still.
Well, you can really blame that on how society has progressed in the sense of like being reliant on social media and stuff, and actually how that does kickstart the depression earlier in life.
You think it makes you think it bums you out younger?
Yeah, I think that.
Is that what you noticed?
I think that our technological advances and our access to information.
Technological.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one. I think that all of these things have actually, caused us to, just become irritated with the conditions of the planet that we're living on faster. So quarter-life crises are more common now than half-life crises. Crises.
So, and you think that's because we're starting our over involvement with the greater community way earlier in life in a way that's maybe developmentally inappropriate?
Yeah.
Our first draft, if you will.
You guys disagree on that.
I'm just kidding.
You guys disagree on that approach, but I think we can find some common ground here.
I like jazz. I like that Caroline called it jazz.
And here's the thing, that like the people you take your cues from in your personal life growing up are just as learned as they are accomplished. They're only that hip, you know what I mean, to how to be successful. They can only advise you on as successful as they've been, save for any mistakes maybe that they can guarantee that you won't make. Right? Like, would your favorite internet personality be where they are if they had listened to their parents' opinions of the internet?
Right.
Would Honey Eats, is that her name? The girl that I like that eats the chicken nugget?
I have no idea
The
who you're talking about.
OnlyFans.
No, it's on
Oh.
YouTube. But like if she listened to what her poor sweet, Asian American immigrant mother told her to do for her career, I don't think she'd be eating chicken nuggets on YouTube for money.
Well, no, and you're right. I mean, well, think about other people. Was it your friend Chris's little brother Craig? He got into finance,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like making a crazy six-figure salary, and he took a crazy pay cut and changed his job because he was just miserable.
Yeah.
Because someone told him that, hey, you should probably making six figures when you're 23 years old and live in Atlanta or do something crazy like that. So you should go to business school
He was
because that's what
23.
parents want you to do. And this guy's
So-
making shitloads of money,
We
but he's miserable. So he
Right.
takes a huge pay cut. He was making like $300,000 a year or something fucking nuts, and they cut it down to like more than 50%.
you're doxing him right now. But yeah, I totally agree that
Well, I
like,
don't know the guy on a
we have
personal level,
totally
really.
our
I just know the story, and it's interesting.
Our-
that is.
And it's a good example. It's when you're miserable with something, you can make a life change.
and I feel like our friend last week that we had on, our friend Andrew from STL Tonight has been open about this on his program, so I don't feel bad mentioning it. But that's kind of how he got into starting his own YouTube channel and doing comedy as sort of a kind of a career now. Was he was just so unhappy in a job that really paid really well. He was able to buy a house. He has a really cool car. A lot of that stuff is paid off, or you know what I mean. He got all that stuff in the door with when he
Mhm.
was at a salary that kind of made that stuff easier. But now he's kind of figuring out what he wants to do to feel important in his life. I think is kind of the follow up I wanted to make, and I just I think I take for granted that because working in schools like I do is it feels really important while you're doing it because there's a level of need, right? Like I forget that other people kind of don't have that connection, and there's plenty of days that I wish I was doing something that maybe more creative or more um, fun, but um, I just don't think like profoundly successful people that we can name like are just doing the basic go to college and get a job and buy a house kind of formula.
Well, that's what everyone wants for their children
Like
is
they
to
didn't
like
just do the
experience
shit. They
that.
didn't. I mean, they didn't have a 4.0 GPA or perfect credit, or especially in my case, everyone I respect and love and take real input from all had kids before they were my age now that I am now.
It's
And
very
so,
true.
and we've talked about this that my parents had us when we were like 22, so they never had this space in their
When
20s to
when
just build their career
they were
and
22.
grow as a person on their own.
Well, our father did start his own company because they had us, and he's since then been successful with it.
Sure.
And our mother quit doing hairstyling and whatever the hell she was doing and went to nursing school, and she seems to be a pretty successful
Well, and I
nurse.
mentioned that here is that like they had babies to feed, so that's like our privilege is that we haven't had that burden yet. Like
It's
we were
true.
joking with Caroline, just put a baby on it.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know what I
I
mean?
agree. If I
They
had a
really like kept us.
if I had a child by now, that'd be a nightmare. But I probably would have gotten my shit together a little bit faster.
You think so? So you feel like it is within your control to get your shit together?
Oh, 100%. It's just I don't feel like there's this deadline, even though I'm approaching 30.
You
I
look damn good.
Thanks. I'm still don't feel like there's like a. I don't feel like there's someone hitting me in the ass with a broomstick trying to get me out the door. Like I'm still perusing.
You're still grazing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not laying down roots yet. You
No,
still
yeah.
want to taste
I'm
the
on
grass.
all fours in the field, munching
Just
that
donkey
grass.
lipping that grass.
Um,
Donkey lip like a camel
I think-
on that grass.
I think you're putting down though the fact that the kids they want. You were talking about the format for college kids. Or get good grades.
Probably
and
college, then spouse, then kids.
Then kids. That's right.
Usually be necessary. Broken homes are still frowned upon, even though I feel like there's a lot more of them than there is non-broken.
Well, we don't want them relying on the government anyway. So I think
What?
I think a lot of people don't want that. A lot of people really want that formula. A lot of people they want an answer.
So this is what I'm talking about. So here's, for example, my parents did a really good job of teeing me up for success so that if I just didn't mess things up, I had a path forward into the life that I have now, right? And that's the privilege that I talk about. And my parents had plenty to worry about, so they didn't have time to dig deeper for themselves when me and my brother were children. Clay, did I ever introduce you on the show today? My baby brother is here.
I think you did. I mean,
I'm
it was
hoping
like-
I did.
It was quick,
And
probably
so they had
as
us,
necessary
and
as
I
it
know,
need
mom later when she got into medicine really got to do some of that, and she feels really fulfilled in her career, and she really loves what she does now, and she's saving lives and really caring for really vulnerable people,
Mhm.
and that's so important.
and she's making that government money.
and she's getting that good when you get it like that, honey.
GUBMINT
When you
government money.
When you got a health program and you can get dental and vision. And baby girl, if you got some elective surgery you want to do, honey, do you think she uses her insurance for her Botox?
I think it should be embarrassed to do so. I feel like
I'm gonna get a little
I
Botox.
feel like she feels like they would judge her for that.
I don't. Is there any negative side effects of Botox?
You
Joe,
can't,
can you
can't
Google-
really express feelings for a while.
Who needs them? I'd love to look high and tight like this all the time. High and tight.
Would you have beard implants ever?
No, I have plenty of that.
Beard implants.
No, I want to get Botox in my dick.
The possible side effects and
Ugh.
complications include pain, swelling, and bruising on injection site, headache or flu-like symptoms. This is all
Yeah,
immediate.
because you're putting a fucking needle in your skin.
And that's actually what they're saying.
My dick's already kind of like that all the time.
Gross, man.
I actually have some other searches you asked me to put up here. I've got the writer for Wild Things is Stephen Peters, and Bill Murray is actually not married at the moment. He has 6 kids and 2 ex-wives.
Divorced in 2008.
Yeah.
He's been single for 12 years now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all out of the way. Just
He's been married twice.
How old are his kids?
He also has like 10 siblings,
you
apparently.
didn't tell me, man.
Fucking Wikipedia, man.
I didn't realize he had children.
Well,
good.
I
That
mean,
makes some
it's not like
sense.
he fires blanks. I mean, look at him. He's Bill fucking Murray.
Yeah, that's true. He's loaded up with that good spunk.
He's firing
he
from the
shoots
hip.
from the hip.
He's
Yes.
from the hip
From his hip dick.
with his hip dick.
Hip dick shooting.
from the dick.
Cacao.
And for example, great transition to, I hope my dad has this fulfillment in his career. They say that people that make things for a living have really tangible feelings of fulfillment by their work.
Oh, I
fulfillment.
think that he's proud of his job. Yes.
You know what I mean? And he especially works for himself, and he really sees the translation from the work he puts into the money that he sees in the bank. Like I think that's why he keeps doing what he does. Like I can't see him working for somebody for real. He's good with his clients, but he's ultimately his own boss.
Horrible social skills.
I mean, like a mule.
He's a fucking child.
He'll
It's
come at
crazy.
you like a
Love him. I
like a
love him to death.
goose.
But sometimes he says things, and it's
he
like,
will
oh
honk
my
on
God.
you, brother.
Do you guys have the same dad?
Are you shitting me?
As far as we know,
didn't
we are
explain.
full blood relatives. Yes.
Yeah. We're only 9 months apart. 10 months apart.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm January. He's November of the same calendar year.
Try not to digress too much, but I do think that idea of the quarter life crisis is actually better than a half-life crisis when you really think about it, because there's earlier on it's time to rebuild and change things up when it's not too late. It's way better to like change your career path at 25 than it is to like be 50 and divorce your wife and start
Especially if you
dating
still have kids
someone
that are children.
that's like 28 and blonde and dumb and uneducated, and you
And
buy a
that's the thing.
motorcycle,
My wife
and that's
says
like
this.
how your life is now better because you did all these dumb things and
Yeah.
ruined your currently
You know,
stable situation.
I was just thinking about this morning, and I could never remember this guy's name, so I could keep him anonymous because I really don't know his fucking name. But a friend of mine came over after band practice one time, and he was asking our bass player about his custody agreement. And we didn't realize that he was separated or going to get separated, and that's when he kind of explained to us the situation. And now I listen to a lot of podcasts, like for example, I love fucking Dr. Drew and people like that who would give really good life advice because I give it to other people, and I act like I made it up. Especially people at work, I'm like, you know what you need to do, girl? You need to get up in there. You need to confront some demons, and they love to hear that. And Dr. Drew doesn't say that, but that he was saying. What are we talking about?
I was listening.
Dr. Drew, what is you were
Yeah,
bringing up
what were
something
you
about
getting
Dr.
into
Drew?
about Dr. Drew?
But wait, why though?
We were talking about you
You were talking about I'm pretty sure you're talking about your friend who was talking about custody agreements with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then you
so
were listening
Dr.
to
Drew is
podcasts.
saying all the time.
You kind of like
Dr. Drew
went
is
through
saying-
8 things at once.
No, Dr. Drew is saying all the time that the hardest part of your life is when you have young children, like between like 0 and 5 is statistically for everybody.
0 to 5 years or 0 to 5 children?
0 to 5 years
Okay.
of the child's ages, because that's such a
Gomer.
hands-on, challenging part of their development.
Yeah, you got to teach them how to poop in a toilet.
Right. There's stuff like that it makes it really hard to have a satisfying romantic relationship with your partner on top of all that other stuff you have to confront every day.
And you're exhausted.
But here's the thing. I think my buddy maybe could have stuck his marriage out if he had known that, because they didn't. It's not like they were messing around or that there was some big scandal.
No, it's just you felt like the love and the passion in the relationship was
because
gone
you had a
because
3-year-old and a 4-year-old.
because all of your energy goes into raising human beings.
That's real talk. That's real because
And
I'm-
why wouldn't
Church.
you? Why wouldn't you later in your life, after you have children, and then you can start to focus on you again? Why wouldn't you say, "Hey, I committed to this relationship with this person, and I'm going to salvage it. And what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild that intimacy around our needs at this age, as opposed to, like Clay said, blowing it up, and I'm going to buy a Yamaha
That's right.
motorcycle and go to the casino with a 26-year-old girl that I met on Tinder." As a grown man, you're 40 and you got kids, and you're taking a 26-year-old to the casino from Tinder
To get crab legs.
to get crab. You're gonna say, "Baby, you want to go
Fucking
to the,
unlimited crab
we're gonna
legs.
stand in line for crab legs. I'm gonna wear my denim on my denim on
On
my
a stick.
denim, honey."
And she gets buffet sushi because she's fucking
And
stupid.
she's got glitter on her face.
I think that's a great point though, because people nowadays really do not understand that things can be put off. Like yes, this is really bad right now, but it's not going to be bad forever. Like we're not stuck here. And I'm constantly, as a millennial, I'm
Man, but
constantly.
That's the thing.
it is dark right now.
You're a
though.
young millennial. I don't know if you count as a millennial.
Tail end.
You're a little young. What are you, 23?
The end is 97. I'm 97.
Oh,
That's me.
okay. We'll call you the shoehorn. That makes sense. If there's an end,
You're 97. Are you aging like Benjamin Button?
he's
I'm-
Benjamin Button. He came
I
out.
am.
It's fucking
He came
crazy,
out like
dude.
Kevin Bacon's dick in Wild Things.
Well,
Just,
you should have a better opinion of the Reagan administration than if you're fucking 97 years old. I don't know why you
Yeah.
were so quiet when we were
What's
talking
your-
about Reagan.
I was talking mad shit on Reagan, bro.
It was
You
a
just
dark
let me,
time.
You were sitting there
and I
quietly.
remember.
You just let me dog your boy like that? You're just gonna let me talk shit on Reagan like
Okay,
that?
well, at the time he was 5'2" and looked like he was 83. So I mean, he had a
Who,
lot going.
Reagan's?
No, I'm talking about Joe here.
Yeah,
It's
it
just-
was a long
if he was
time.
aging in reverse, then he was going through a whole
See,
lot
I get
of
lost
shit.
in this metaphor. Like that's what I didn't like about that Lady Gaga song with Bradley Cooper's was like just I get lost in the are you under the sea? Like what is the metaphor? Can you just tell me you're sad? What is this? And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that's just oohs and ahs.
I think that it was a song about.
Do you remember when
addiction.
music was music? You remember like
Remember when music was about shaking butts?
you know what I mean? Like do you remember what
2012.
Joe, what was that
Mhm.
filth I was listening to when we were in here earlier? There's a song from 1998 that is on my Jacob V's favorite songs playlist
Yeah,
for December.
that was awful.
And it's called Touch It.
Touch
And
it.
I remember listening to it on a boombox. It was on Z1077
Was
or
it
whatever
Salt
it
and
was.
Pepper?
No. It's some
Let's push it.
No, yeah. This was like 10 years later. This was 1998. And it's like a filthy song. I can't play it on the podcast. Because it's somebody else's song, but it's on my playlist on
It was
Spotify.
written by
for the month.
Louis C.K.
There's no way.
They never actually touch it.
You
Yeah.
have to remember everything that
Yikes.
happened in
Yikes.
both the 80s and the 90s that then led to the certain music genres. I mean,
Oh,
the 90s
yeah.
got pretty fucking weird because the 80s was just a coke-fueled nightmare,
It was.
and then the 90s was everyone who had to grow up in the 80s dealing with the fact that they didn't know what the hell was going on in the 80s. And so they made weird shit. Maybe they explored some stuff sexually. Do you know how much they talked about sex and sitcoms?
Well,
even?
and that's a huge problem
the
that Dr.
90s?
Drew talks about too, is that in
Friends,
the 70s there was this
all he did was
huge,
talk about sex.
there's this huge, which is weird
Frasier?
because now you watch Friends and it seems like
Frasier was sexy as fuck.
in our memory it seems like Friends was super sexual, but you watch it now on HBO or whatever it's on, and it's not nearly as raunchy as you remember it being. It's so weird how stuff changes.
Yeah, I was watching How I Met Your Mother because I'm a millennial,
Why
and
would
I'll
you do
tell
that
you
to yourself?
the stuff they get away with, on that show. You wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I mean, actually, was it Neil Patrick Harris's character? All he's just about is wearing suits and banging women. So yeah,
Right.
now you got shows like The Unicorn, which is horrible, but it's about a single dad who's a widower, and it's him trying to get back into the dating scene while having 2 young daughters.
Ugh.
And still grieving the loss of his wife, and he's got his friends pushing him out there, and it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's just kind of fucked up. And he's a unicorn because he's like the thing that everyone looks for, because he's not a single middle-aged man through divorce or through his own
Right,
fault. His
right.
wife passed away, so he's actually wonderful and perfect and tender and probably hung like a fucking moose,
Kevin Bacon.
like Kevin Bacon and Wild Things. Like I said, it was a good penis. I wouldn't say it was huge. It wasn't like Boogie Nights.
I'm looking it up.
Look up his dong. Yeah, fucking Google Kevin Bacon's dong
Kevin
and Wild Things.
Bacon.
He shows it.
That's the thing. The Marky Mark
Kevin's
dong in Boogie
bacon?
Nights was fake.
The Marky Mark dog in Boogie Nights was blurred because it was so fake. Yes, but it was a monster.
It was a monster fake.
Hmm
Almost
Should we have a whole segment where we talk about celebrity penises? Because I heard that Brad Pitt is hung like a field mouse.
Really? That's hilarious.
He even came out about it. He was just like, yeah, like my penis is all right. It's a little on the small side.
Where I need that article where he says that.
I think it was an interview. I
With
think
who?
he said it's like a hamster. I think that's what he said.
Brad
he-
Pitt
no, he
talks
did
about
not.
penis. Googling it via.
Yeah, do an incognito window, please.
That'd be better for you to look into than just seeing
Use
a
the
picture
VPN,
of Kevin
not a
Bacon's
sponsor.
dong.
Too late.
You already put that on my thing. Now I'm gonna get Brad Pitt fucking
This isn't your
dick
computer.
energy in my Amazon all the time from the NSA, who never reached out to me about how many McChickens I've eaten.
Wait. How did we get from talking about families and quarter-life crises and half-life crises and all this stuff to celebrity penises? What did we do?
No, well, it's celebrity penises have been a recurring theme of this episode.
Only because we talked about Kevin Bacon's dong when we were talking about Wild Things, which we really didn't talk that much about.
What, Wild Things?
Yeah, we talked about it for like 5 minutes.
How'd you feel about it?
The movie?
Yeah, Caroline couldn't hear you.
I
so
thought
was getting frustrated
exactly,
for her.
and there was a problem there. And why I was contributing less earlier in the evening is because Caroline and I could not talk directly, and therefore I was just kind of taking a step back. How did I feel about Wild Things? As far as like the banging high school girls thing goes, not for it. I think that's in poor taste. However,
Yeah, they've really dialed that
everything
down.
else about it, every
recently.
single thing else about it, honestly, is pretty solid. I think that other than like maybe the performances and some of the like dialogue, other than that, I think it's a good, sexy crime drama. I
So
think it's
you're saying you like to have sexy crime dramas in your life,
yes, without actually having to like suffer the consequences.
but you like to watch sexy crime dramas.
Who doesn't want to watch a sexy crime
This
drama?
is my thing. I really was like, there's no audience for this movie anymore.
No, not now. But if you live in the nostalgia that was the time where sexy crime drama was the world, which was the turn of the century. I mean, everyone thought the planet was going to die, and which now it is. But I mean, everyone thought it was going to die immediately at midnight when it turned the year 2000.
Y2K.
And so it's like, hey, let's just all fuck and kill and have a good time.
Wow, that's deep, bruh. That's deep, bruh.
I enjoyed it.
And listen, I talk shit on my career all the time, but it's really
I
given
mean,
me
I was a
lot.
child in the 90s. I was
have-
born in 91, so I really can't speak for it. But looking back into just all of the film and stuff back then, there was a lot of fucking and killing and killing fucking.
And so you feel like that's the shoot from the hip kind of ideology that you try to adopt in your life?
Well, I think that my life has taken so many turns that shooting from the hip is not the worst thing that I could do.
Shooting from the dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know where he's at. All right. But no. It could be totally worse.
So what's the answer? What's the answer to our friends who aren't living in a sexy crime drama and who kind of hate their daily experience? What are we going to tell them to do, Claybug?
Keep on keeping on.
What does that mean? That's awful. That's why people drive their car off a bridge.
No, you're right. That's horrible advice.
Seriously.
Actually,
if I
no,
was
that's
had-
the advice that we were given, and
if
that's
I-
exactly why I just kind of live my life as I'm going, is because I don't know. I really don't regret making changes, but like I could have stayed in Kansas City and married someone who I fucking hated and bought property and gotten a job that was comfortable, but I was miserable in, and just lived it out, and then died of like a hernia, like a some sort of like herniation in my arteries or something at like 42, and been totally
Hemorrhage.
okay with that, like a AAA or something, which is a ascending abdominal or no, ascending aortic aneurysm. Yes,
What
that's
do
what I
you
was
think?
thinking of.
What do you think social media in the most off the
Because
you know,
what Clay
road
is
way.
conjecturing is that social media has moved the prototypical midlife crisis up to where the quarter life crisis exists, and that's
Okay.
how our generation is experiencing it. Is this
Think about it. No, hold on. Think about it. Think about it. Your phone's dead.
Mhm.
You don't have access to Google, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. You are just living in your moment, knowing what you have to do about your day and getting it done.
Right.
And that is the most productive you can possibly be at anyone in our generation right now who has a smartphone. The most productive you can be is when you're not accessing your phone.
Right.
Because this thing can give you all the information that you want in the world. But also knowing all that information is fucking devastating because the world sucks and horrible things happen everywhere all the time. And yes, we used to get newspapers and all that stuff and watch the news or whatever. But there was a point in your day where you would do that. And then everything else was you being fully in tune to your life.
Right.
Which is great. Now all people want to do is I set my alarm for 7 a.m. I wake up at 7 a.m. I don't get out of bed till fucking 9 a.m. Want to know why? Because I'm spending 2 hours looking at my little fucking computer screen and just learning all this information that I don't want to fucking know because it just makes me sad,
Right.
you know?
Well,
So everyone's devastated and everyone thinks I'm miserable, I'm depressed, but now being miserable and depressed is the norm and it's accepted and it's almost encouraged because it's like, haha, me too, fam. But it fucking
Right.
sucks.
Yeah.
So quarter-life crises
It's
occur
like-
instead of half-life crises, midlife crises, because people need to make a fucking positive change, or else everyone's going to want to fucking pop a bunch of opioids and jump off a goddamn bridge.
God damn it, that does sound good.
But it's a bad thing, but it's also a positive thing because it's speeding up this kind of shitty process that was already going to happen, kind of, for some people, for a lot of people. So would you say that social media had a positive, in the long run, do you think it had kind of slightly a positive influence in your life?
It has its ups and its downs, but the biggest part is that I can argue, and it's the most simple one, is ignorance is bliss. You're totally happy when you're just living your shit and doing your shit. And as soon as you hear about everyone else's bad day, a village getting bombed over something over in the fucking Middle East or something because of an oil war,
Right.
or like a celebrity that you fucking once loved passing away,
Right.
at his home, happy, or in a horrible fucking helicopter crash with his daughter, whichever one we want to get into, it saddens you and it takes a toll, you know? It takes a chunk of your fucking energy away for the day. And then you go home and you lay there and you look at your fucking information brick until you drop it on your face because you're so goddamn tired. And then you wake up the next day and you do the exact same thing. And no one's really unplugged anymore. And being plugged in for that long is taxing. Imagine running your vacuum cleaner for 15 hours a day.
I
Your
kinda
electric
do. I have
your
three-
electric bill will fucking go
I have
crazy.
3 Roombas.
And I'm trying to make a weird analogy here, but or a metaphor. It's just kind of like, you know, if you're that plugged into the misery and the reality without just focusing on your shit and getting through your shit, and you're worried about everyone else's shit, especially being a fucking like toxic empath like I am,
Me
Right.
too.
like it sucks because then you just feel horrible for everyone all the time and it's exhausting. And then you just want to fucking toke it up 18 times a day
Right.
and just live in a cloud because you can't fucking escape the reality.
Right. Like, so this
Yeah, you're going right
information-
where I was gonna go. This is great. This
Oh
is-
man, it sucks and it
doesn't-
hurts.
No, but it's good to you got to externalize the nihilism because then there's hope because someone's listening.
Yeah. So what you're saying is kind of like knowing it becomes your responsibility. Knowing everything becomes your responsibility.
No,
as a
knowing
person.
everything is your burden because then
Right.
you're burdened with the sadness of the reality that is our existence.
That's really hard.
It sucks.
You guys, your lives suck, man.
No, our lives are actually pretty great. We have a really good
know-
family. You know, we
Just
both
kidding.
have good sources of income. We both have great partners. I mean, our lives are not that bad, but sure as shit they could be better.
You know what Trump said?
Okay, go on, bring it
We
on.
need help from the boss.
Uh,
Joe, can you pull this clip up?
you mean Bruce Springsteen?
The
Trump,
boss, he
God, the
says
boss. No, we need help from
Jesus.
the boss.
Yeah, we can't say Jesus on the podcast.
The man upstairs.
We can say Lion's Choice and Diet Coke, but we can't say Jesus.
He
What kind of
said-
trademark
he
bullshit
said
is
at a
this?
rally. He said at a rally after,
Real
like, right
dumb.
before the election, he was saying that, you know, people say to me, they say, you're the most famous person that's ever lived. I said, no. No way.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's not even close.
Jesus Christ.
It's not even
And
close. I
everybody's
don't want
like,
any arguments. I don't want any arguments. It's not even close. Jesus Christ. And all the.
You still need help from the boss.
There it is.
You need help from the boss.
I still think he's talking about Bruce Springsteen.
the whole time, secretly.
Jesus Springsteen.
Should we listen to the whole thing? Come on, it's only 1 minute.
Listen it up.
Yeah, we need help. It's all right to say it. Now, they'll criticize me for that. How dare he say that? How dare he say that? No,
This is a big
I'll
moment.
Say it. I'll say it. I'll say it. Somebody said to me the other day, you're the most famous person in the world by far. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. He said, yes, you are. I said, no. He said, who's more famous? I said, Jesus Christ.
That was
more years.
that, that was his Abraham Lincoln like speech.
Yeah, that was his Gettysburg address.
That was just Gettysburg.
Was him just being like, "Hey, no, it's not me, it's Jesus." Yeah, like that.
I love
fucking shit.
your Trump sounds like Big Ange.
You're right. I fucked that up.
Belvedere vodka
Yeah.
the best vodka. I wake up at 7 a.m. and I put Botox straight in my ass. And I make a martini with Belvedere vodka.
Stella D'Or breakfast.
Fuck. No, but really though,
Chicken wing, chicken
Also,
wing.
I love that whole crazy, stupid Republican Jesus fucking politics and religion caught together bullshit.
Makes no
I
sense.
heard recently a whole thing. There was like the idea that like Jesus was actually probably a brown-skinned gay man.
Gay?
Yeah.
No, he had that girl.
You think he wasn't fucking his disciples? At
No,
least
he had that
bisexual
girl.
or pansexual.
He could have been pan like Lando Calrissian.
When's the last time you saw a heterosexual fucking white man say, "Hey, rub these oils on my feet"?
Girl, I love an oil on my foot.
No, see, that's not
Oh,
the thing.
Honey,
I
rub me
love
down,
the idea.
girl.
I love the idea that Jesus was
Lube up my
at
feet,
least a
honey.
bisexual, if not pansexual, brown man, and could exist that way. Instead, it got blown up and rewritten by fucking stupid white people to make it sound like it's a whole thing. But we're not going to get into religion here.
That's Clay's Jesus.
Why not? We're already all the way there.
We're already in it. I know. We're already balls deep in it, shooting from the hip, dick. But overall, yes, I think I fully covered what I wanted to talk about when it came to the idea of the quarter life crisis being normal and healthy, actually. Making a change before it's too late.
Because here's
It's
what
not
that's exactly
bad.
what I was saying. Because here's what I'm thinking. Like, this is the longest, like Caroline was mentioning earlier, that I've ever gone without drinking alcohol as an adult.
Yeah.
And it's also, I've made some really positive life improvements in that time. It also happens to be a global pandemic, but I'm also really confronting some serious concerns about how I want to spend my 30s, like what kind of work I want to be doing.
Oh, same.
And what kind of
100%.
environment I want to be in, right? And that's a healthy conversation to have with yourself. I think it's important to check in with yourself, like Matthew McConaughey says. Check in with the me and the we and the I and the whatever he says. I'm
I'm sure it sounds better when he says it.
Oh yeah, he's on a book tour talking all mad shit. It's crazy.
That's
and
fucking awesome.
but like, so you got to check in with yourself and do that stuff. But I think I used to really have like no self-esteem. I wouldn't trust myself with decisions.
Oh, yeah, no, I get that, actually. And I've made some big changes in the last year as well.
You
know?
look good.
Thanks. Oh, yeah.
Shredded.
I mean, I did gain about 20 pounds back. But overall, I lost about
It's
40
all in your dick.
Overall, I lost about 43 pounds, and then I broke my arm, and then I gained about 20 pounds. And now I'm working on getting back down. But the big life changes, and you know, it's kind of like the people that like they won't drink, but they'll like smoke weed, like California sober. It's like I'm kind of living the idea where I have my balances too. It's like I work out like I hate myself, really great, but then I'm also an insufferable alcoholic, so it balances out so nice.
Yeah. And so why
I'm in this limbo.
Why is the exercise so important to you?
Mental health, honestly, the endorphins and everything, and then also this feeling of progress and seeing actual physical progress and all that.
What does that look like?
It's
Describe that to me.
It's a motivator.
But describe physical progress. As an
Physical
example.
progress, muscle tone, hypertrophy, definition.
Are you measuring? Are you measuring any? Or do you have any stats you follow on that?
No. There are other people that measure things and whatever, but I don't usually do that. I barely even try to weigh myself. But when I do, I like to make sure that my numbers are down. But I mean, you know, just like seeing like your stomach get smaller or your ass get bigger, but in a good way, you know, or like nice muscle cuts in your thigh meats.
Oh, when you got that cut like Usher. Remember Usher on The Fabulous Life on VH1? He was talking.
You mean the Surreal Life?
They went through his.
You mean the Surreal Life?
No. He was not. Usher was not on the Surreal Life.
That makes sense. He was too successful.
The Fabulous Life was Robin Leach's show. He used to do Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous back in the day. But he had a show on VH1 called The Fabulous Life, and then they were doing Usher, and they went through like his workout routine with his own private trainer, and he was all about, you got to have that cut. You ain't got that cut. You ain't got nothing. You got to have that cut. And you're talking about that crease in your pelvis area.
Oh, that V, the V. Yeah, the one that Brad Pitt really has in Fight Club.
The V all the way down to his mediocre hamster dick.
Yes, that one. Exactly.
What kind of protein do you drink, Clay? Not to plug the protein.
He
Maybe we shouldn't.
mixes fucking
I get a lot of supplements, actually.
hydrogenated fucking bone marrow into a Bang energy drink, and he pumps it in his ass.
No, so I do take certain supplements, and there's a meal replacement protein, like whey protein, things like that, which
Yeah.
are good for like just kind of like wake up and have that.
Yeah.
But then there's a post-workout protein that can help get to the damaged fibers faster. It's hydrolyzed protein.
We gotta talk off
So that's
screen,
good. I
yeah.
enjoy that, and actually,
don't hijack
and
my
also,
fucking show with this garbage.
there
This
also
witch
there
doctory.
also is a local St. Louis supplier of supplements called First Form that has
really?
great shit. But they are definitely not cheap,
Yeah.
but they're fucking awesome and they're local and it's great to support them.
Yeah.
And they have all this stuff. I also have a post-workout
They better not be
creatine
Nazis.
powder. I have a post-workout
They
carbohydrate
better
powder.
not be fucking Nazis.
I have their Opti Green, which is a superfood powder that they
Are you a
have,
shill?
which is also good for immune support.
Are you a
I have
plant?
their pre-workout powder, which is like it's good enough that it makes your face itch a little bit, but it's not like overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know how I face down the existential void? Is I said that
Reefer
today.
and Diet Coke.
I said that today in a motherfucking in a fucking meeting at work. Somebody was saying, we were talking to a former colleague who now lives in Alaska, and she was saying how everyone there
Good
is really
for her.
Oh, it's great. She loves it. And she
Fuck.
was saying how everyone there is really serious. And I made the joke just in the chat on the side because I was having my existential dread.
Denise?
Yeah. I was having my existential
Pranger?
Don't do that. Don't.
I'm sorry.
You just
we
doxed
know
me.
the same
Weren't we just talking
person.
about doxing?
We know the same person.
So yeah,
Anyway.
she used to have my same job at a different building.
That's so
You're gonna
cool.
have to clip her name out of the show yourself now. You
No,
ass.
but
Meredith?
I moved.
Meredith Cowell? That's
talking-
nuts.
I helped move her to Alaska. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
At her-
Denise?
Oh.
Go.
I don't know. When you did that, it scared the shit out of me. I was like, how did that happen? Because
Just continue.
you know how the universe is fucking with us. I do work for the district where you went to high school.
we
how that
are
works, so
we
it
are in a
makes some sense.
simulation. Yes.
So where was I? You cocksuckers! God damn it!
What? We're all just big bio batteries in vats like the Matrix. We all know that we're not actually existing. You think we'd be better at it if we knew it was fake?
Man, you fit right in around here.
You should ask him the big question, Jake, the big interview question.
Oh, Clay, who do you think is entitled to the Holy Land?
Who do I think is entitled to the Holy Land? If there is a Holy Land, who is entitled to it?
You know, the one that they're always fighting over, like
You
Jerusalem
mean
and
like
shit. Israel and whatnot.
You're talking about the Palestinians and the Israel.
Who do you think? I'm just
Israelis.
shoot from the hip on that one. Who do you think? Who you vote for on that one?
Shoot from the
Honestly, I
If
don't.
you got to donate a missile.
I don't know enough information.
If that's your Christmas gift to the world, is you're going to donate a missile to one side of that conflict. Where are you going with the
that
missile?
North Star.
I don't know why, and I think it might just be just from the sound of it. But I think that the nation of Palestine should just really get that.
Your grandfather would be turning in his grave.
I don't know why there's still an argument over who gets the Holy Land. I think you were talking about heaven, like what do you got to do to get into heaven? And I was like, I don't fucking know.
Well, I was
the
telling
answer.
Caroline earlier, the rapture already happened. We already missed it.
Yeah, duh.
That's what the rapture happened the same day they shot Harambe, and that's why we didn't hear about it.
That's fucked up because it's probably
It's just
true.
like how Farrah Fawcett died on the same day as Michael Jackson.
No, but then it would be like that
Nobody
movie.
cared about Farrah Fawcett.
then
We were like,
it would
oh,
be,
Farrah.
then it would
And
be-
before we had time to put the TV show together, Michael Jackson fucking drank fentanyl in his face,
Drank fentanyl in his face.
What
Yes,
was it?
that's what he did.
propofol and shit. And so then he totally upstaged Farrah Fawcett. That is exactly what's happening here.
Well, I don't think that we would have experienced a rapture without
The
seeing.
rapture only
I
took a
don't-
select number of people.
I don't think
you don't
that-
think all those
I-
people were going?
I think that we would have noticed. Do you ever see the HBO series The Leftovers?
That was too many. That was too many people went missing. It's not Thanos taking half of the people. It's a very select few pure people.
No, I think that there's
Anytime
probably.
you see a nice
I
old
think
lady
that
go
you're
missing,
I think
bro.
that you're talking about a solid 5%. I'm not saying 50%. I'm not saying 5%.
Joe.
I'm saying roughly 20. We would have noticed 20.
Joe,
percent.
this is an assignment for next week. I need you to write this down. That we need to find out how many nice old ladies went missing the same day Harambe was killed. We need to do a national search on CaseNet.
That is a deep cut.
We need to find out how many. Oh, I just watched Loose Change this morning while I was at work having my coffee. And so I'm deep in the weeds with conspiracies right now. But I think the rapture already happened. I think we missed out. I don't think we were chosen. And I think it's going to be a bunch of missing old ladies.
64% of libraries lost their lead. What is this? Library
Librarian?
sciences doctor person that's
What
assigned
the fuck are you
the
talking
day
about?
I don't know. I'm just making this up.
Okay.
I just-
The organization of libraries has lost their lead scientist the day that Harambe was killed. As a punishment
Yeah.
to the humans
You have to start with
that allowed the death of Harambe.
yeah.
We all know Harambe was protecting that child. and we just stood there and let it happen.
I like listening to the when he starts to drag the kid. You just the the oh Lord,
That's true.
like in the background.
That is a moment that
It's all freaking out. Like
This is terrible.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
We need to like cut that. And
It's
have
great.
That as a sound
I was
bite.
asking a question, I think, before we got all sidetracked. I don't think it
you asked
matters.
me if Palestine or Israel needed the Holy Land. That was a totally unnecessary question.
You know, who do you felt like was entitled to the Holy Land? We ask everybody that question.
Palestine.
Wow, why?
I don't know. I just feel like it sounds better.
Whoa. Joe, write that down. That's a hot take. We're going to have
Palestinians
to argue that on Twitter.
and Israelis fighting over something that doesn't fucking matter for so goddamn long because it gives them something to get out of bed to do.
Do you think it would be
I
better
think
if they
the
just shared?
Palestinian. I think that the Palestinians honestly deserve it better because they're
You feel like they're the underdog?
yes, and their group has takes a longer time of their day to say their fucking name. And that, for that they just deserve it. Palestinian. That's annoying. Israeli. Go fuck yourself.
The fucking Mossad is gonna fucking shoot me in the head.
Yeah,
What was the last time we talked about this? Where the Israeli intelligence service is gonna come to my house, dressed as Jack in the Box, and shoot me in the fucking head?
When
you
call
know
that guy,
you know that no one dresses up for Jack in the Box. You think like a delivery driver or like the dude with the big white head and the hat?
No. He's gonna dress up like Jack from Jack in the Box.
Oh, Jack. Okay, yeah.
And he's gonna come here and shoot me in the face.
Well, at least you have that nice little peephole in your front door.
I know. He's gonna do it through my hole.
Oh.
Joe,
through,
what else
through
were
the
we...
hole and of the hole.
Joe, what were we talking about before? We were talking about Mossad was coming after me as Jack in the
yeah,
Box.
because you called that guy a Zionist shill
Oh,
on
fuck.
UltimateGuitar.com.
You
damn it.
wait, hold on. You gotta come back and revisit that Zionist shill.
Okay, so here's the thing. On an episode of a podcast, there was a
Your
guy.
podcast.
No.
Oh, not yours. Okay.
On an episode of a podcast that I like, there was a guy who was talking about things that people make up about him online. They make up things. And one of them was that, oh yeah, everyone on Reddit says you're a Zionist shill, which apparently means like pro-Israel, like the sovereign Hebrew peoples and whatnot. It's like it's like a pro-Jew thing, which I'm totally for. Like I love my Jewish
Wait, are
brethren.
the Palestinians against being Jewish?
Yeah, they're the Muslims.
Oh,
See, yikes, bro.
fuck. Well, then I think I messed up.
This is the roughest cut of that story.
Joe, clip that for the fucking gram.
You have to understand that you have to understand that
messed up.
I made a blind decision. I made a blind decision not knowing any information that I needed to know about either of the groups.
I have a few people I need to apologize to.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the Jews. I live in a quiet Jewish neighborhood.
You live in Creve Coeur with me?
No, U City.
Oh.
But it's the nice quiet part of U City.
Yeah.
Not the part that the government was like, hey, if you're black, you live this way, and if you're white, you live that way. The government did that further down the loop.
Yeah, down.
I live
No,
by
I mean, I think that's
170.
why your neighborhood is, more
That's a nice
Caucasian.
spot. That's how that area opened up. You got like a duplex.
Yeah.
It's
fucking great.
They're hard to get,
It's the fucking, I know, I think we got lucky. And the landlord's super chill, and we live right next to House of India, so sometimes I walk out my front door and I just smell curry.
Mm.
And it's
That's
like,
nice.
what a way to start your day.
Jesus Christ, is it 9:30?
Oh, yeah, we've been... yeah.
Motherfucker, we got to wrap this up. Guys,
Oh, is
that's
this a
another
2-hour podcast?
That's another episode of Jacob V Weekly. High five. Follow us wherever you get your podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google, whatever. You can bang it. You can also find original music by Jacob V and Too Deep on all of your music platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, so on. Exclusively on Bandcamp, you can find music from my old band Battlestag. I love those guys. You can follow me on Twitter at Malachi Envy, on Instagram at Jacob Allen V.
What the fuck is Malachi?
I also curate a monthly playlist since May of 2020. I have one for each month on Spotify. Search for Jacob V's favorite songs and you'll see them all there. We did it, guys. Be safe. High five.